Tonight on WGN, every game counts, especially intra-division collisions. Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Here in Houston, Texas, we're set for Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Good thing they have a roof with a tropical storm bearing down on the city of Houston, but we are indoors tonight. The Cubs and the Astros. It's game 2 of a 3-game series, and checking in on the updated standings in the National League Central. Good news, the Pirates scored 3 times in the 8th inning, beat Milwaukee 7-4, so the Cubs with an opportunity to jump back in first. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. A tough 5-4 loss in 11 innings for the Cubs last night. More missed opportunities offensively. The Cubs stranded 15 on base.
Well, that's been a familiar refrain here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. The Cubs have played well against the Astros at Wrigley. They've really had their problems here in Houston. In the 8th, 9th, and 10th inning, they got the leadoff man on perfectly executed sac bunts. Could not push him across against a struggling Brad Lidge in the 11th. 3 base on balls in the inning. Couldn't cash in a run there either.
And John got a good pitch to hit on a 2-0, but Lidge was able to get out of it as he lined to center. Cubs went 6-3 against the Astros at Wrigley Field, but they have yet to beat them here in Houston, and just 3 for 45 with runners in scoring position in this ballpark. Now the pitchers tonight for the Cubs, it'll be lefty Rich Hill.
Rich Hill coming off a subpar outing last weekend against the Pirates. The thing that really concerned you about Rich's outing that day was the fact he only struck out 2 batters. Very unusual for him.
Right-hander Matt Albers is in. Rookie left-hander Troy Patton out because of arm soreness.
Albers, a sinker curveball pitcher, needs to keep the ball down to be effective. He's been banged around in his previous starts this year.
Well, I guess the theme of this trip, opportunity, and it's knocking again. If the Cubs can win, they're back in first place. We'll have the lineups and all the action coming up next.
Fred learns the hard way.
I need to find a babysitter.
I could help out with little Tanner.
No good deed.
I got $40 says the kid steals Brent's shoes.
$50 says Brent starts crying at some point.
Goes unpunished.
Tanner?
2-1, he cries before 10 o'clock.
This is just some kind of hide-and-seek thing?
$10 says fat lip.
I say stitches.
$50 on broken bones.
These are metal, you know. Tanner, you're kind of creeping me out here.
Corner Gas. Sneak peek tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Think back to the best beer you've ever had. Now, get ready to top it. Fresh Budweiser served on draft. No other beer is this fresh. And the taste, just as the brewmaster intended. Will it be your best beer ever? I say we find out. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Jed Clampett, a poor mountaineer barely keeping his family fed, when in the summer of '63, he was shooting at some food, becoming a millionaire overnight. Soon afterward, he loaded up his truck and moved to Beverly Hills.
I was suspicious of this whole Texas tea theory.
A new investigation reveals that in the summer before Jed moved away from there, he switched his car insurance to Geico, saving a substantial sum of money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Comcast, catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV today. The Illinois Lottery, No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
Welcome back. We are inside Minute Maid Park. They're expecting a ton of rain as a tropical storm Umberto is on its way. And the Cubs just made a late lineup change, swapping Cliff Floyd, who was hitting cleanup for the third straight game, and Aramis Ramirez, who was going to hit fifth. But now it's Ramirez fourth, Floyd fifth. And let's get the rest of the Cubs Pepsi lineup. Soriano, Jock Jones hitting second tonight. Ryan Theriot has struggled, so he's down in the 8th spot. Lee, Ramirez, Floyd. DeRosa's at second. Kendall catching. Theriot 8th, and Rich Hill 9th.
And let's take a look at the Astros defensively. Carlos Lee in left field made the defensive play of his career last night on Ryan Theriot, making a bid for extra bases. Hunter Pence in center field. Luke Scott over in right. Wigginton, Loretta, Biggio, and Berkman across the infield. Hey, you mentioned the tropical storm, Umberto Quintero behind home plate tonight, and he'll be catching the right-hander, Matt Albers. This will be Albers' 4th appearance of the season against the Cubs, the first 3 coming in relief. And as usual, Soriano swings at the first pitch of the ball game, pops it up to the right side, no problem for Lance Berkman.
So 1 pitch and 1 out. Let's get the umpires tonight. The veteran Mike Riley, the crew chief, will work the plate. He's worked 3 World Series, the last coming in 2002. Kellogg, Cooper, and Fletcher on the bases. And it'll be Jock Jones digging in. Another 3-hit performance last night. Back-to-back 3-hit games for Jock. He also had 3 on Monday in that big win over St. Louis. Again, the Cubs are looking for their first win this year here in Houston. They're 0-4. 73 degrees inside, 79 outside. A very mild and extremely windy day here in Houston. The wind and the 0-1 pitch by Albers. That misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brewers lost today. It was a wild game in Pittsburgh. The Pirates led 4-0 into the 4th inning. Milwaukee would eventually tie it with 2 in the 8th. But then Derek Turnbow gave it up, 3 runs, and the Pirates won 2 of 3 in that series. And Bob, Milwaukee tomorrow will have its final off day of the season, and then 17 in a row to finish up. Two and 2.
I can't help but think, Len, there's a driving range down in Arizona that I go to in the winter. And you put your money in the machine, and the tee comes up out of the ground with the ball already sitting on it. You don't even have to bend over. That's what it feels like for the Cubs. The Brewers just keep putting it on a tee for us. Have to take advantage.
A 1-out single for Jones. Yeah, everybody in that dugout knows what happened, because when the Cubs go out and stretch and when they play catch, it's out in left field, and the out-of-town scoreboard is right in front of them. And in fact, Lou alluded to the Milwaukee score in his pregame chat with the media. One ball, no strikes on Derek Lee. Short lead by Jones at first. Albers with the pitch, fouled away. Troy Patton's shoulder's been bothering him a little bit, so he was scratched for tonight's start. But we heard about it before the ballgame last night, and that changed Lou Pinella's lineup plans. Cecil Cooper, the interim manager, his team just snapped a 5-game losing streak. They're 5-8 under Cooper since Phil Garner was fired. Lou wanted to give Ryan Theriot the night off, but he's in there and batting 8th. And because of the late switch, we didn't get a chance to ask Lou why he flip-flopped Ramirez and Floyd. He was going to do that And Cliff probably wouldn't have played against the lefty, but he said last night he was going to go with Lee and Ramirez 3 and 4 versus the left-hander. And he had split them up originally against the right-hander before the switch, just a few minutes before we got started.
You know, sometimes you can look at the numbers historically and it would explain why a manager would make a flip like that in the lineup, but Cliff Lloyd with one at bat, he was intentionally walked last time he faced Matt Albers, and for Aramis Ramirez, he's 0 for 1 lifetime, so no history to go on.
2-2 on Lee. So now Ramirez on deck and not Floyd.
Well, Albers pitches to contact. In his last 34 innings pitched, he's given up 34 hits and only 16 strikeouts. I mentioned he's a sinker curveball pitcher. He'll also throw a four-seam fastball and an occasional change up to a left-handed hitter. Strike 3 to Derek Lee right there. The curveball that he throws almost looks like a short, tight slider. It's a very late breaking pitch, not the big over-the-top curveball. That's it right there.
So 2 outs, and it's Ramirez. Ramos went the whole way last night. Singled and scored in the 3rd inning. That was his only hit. 1 for 5. He also walked later. The Cubs had 10 hits. They walked 10 times. 1 hit batter. So in that regard, you like the approach. They were patient last night, but they were just 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And another mitigating factor, and we showed you in the open, Jock hit that ball very hard off Brad Lidge in the 11th inning. He lined to Pence, and Ryan Theriot thought he had at least a double that would have knocked in 2 to give the Cubs the lead in the 8th inning, but Carlos Lee came out of nowhere to run it down. I talked to Gerald Perry today, and he was very happy with that swing, just not the result.
Well, the only mitigating factor there is Lidge was really struggling with his command out there on the mound, and granted 2-0 is a tremendous hitter's count, and as you said, Jock got a good pitch and he did hit it hard. But you're never quite sure what might happen if you wait out Brad Lidge, make him throw a few more pitches. He was really struggling to find the zone.
I think Aramis just broke his bat.
You talked about the Ryan Theriot drive to left center field that Carlos Lee ran down. I had already written double in my book. As soon as that ball came off the bat, I didn't think there was any way Carlos Lee was going to be able to close ground and make that catch. One of the rare times you'll see Carlos Lee leave his feet defensively to make a play. Saved a couple of runs.
That's how it's gone for Theriot lately. He's 0 for his last 13. Drive the other way. Luke Scott, however, plenty of room to make the catch. Cubs get a hit, no runs. It'll be Rich Hill against the Astros offense when we return.
Here we can see that the structure of price variance is going to shift unilaterally according to daily expenditures and profit margins. And here on slide 88 of 250, we have a contribution margin.
That's why Southwest Airlines has 6 daily nonstop flights from Chicago Midway to Denver, so you can always catch a later flight. And you can count on us to get you there with our convenient nonstop flights and on-time service.
You are now free to move about the country.
When I'm riding, I can't let my allergy medicine put me in a fog. So I only ride Claritin Clear. Claritin works hard to relieve my worst allergy symptoms. Sneezing, runny nose, for a full 24 hours. In fact, it works so well, only Claritin is proven to make me alert and focused. And it doesn't make me drowsy, like some other medicines can. When I get allergy relief and stay razor sharp, I'm ahead from start to finish. Stay alert, stay focused, live Claritin Clear.
Women seem to be coming on to me in an unusual manner.
You have sex with someone and then they find their true love.
That's ridiculous.
I guess you are a lucky charm.
On September 21st.
Fess up about this charm.
No, it's not me.
The man everyone wants. only wants her.
What makes you think I'll be kissing you?
Dane Cook.
Kim's the one, man.
Jessica Alba.
Now?
Wait till I get this.
Good Luck Chuck. Rated R. In theaters everywhere September 21st.
Now the Houston Astros lineup. It's Hunter Pence leading off in center. He's knocked in 9 in 8 games against the Cubs. Craig Biggio with 3,048 career hits. Berkman, Lee, Loretta, Wigginton, Scott, who had the game winner last night, Quintero, and Alberts.
I'm in utter despair. Take a look at the Cubs defensively, brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Jones, and Floyd once again across the outfield. Ramirez and Terrio on the left side. Mark DeRosa manning second base, bruises and all. Derek Lee over at first, Jason Kendall behind the plate, and left-hander Rich Hill on the mound tonight for the Cubs. Rich looking to bounce back, as I mentioned earlier, from a subpar outing against the Pirates. Went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits and 6 runs. And the thing I mentioned before, only struck out 2 batters. Only one other time this year as he struck out fewer, and that was a 3-inning outing against the Padres back in June when he only struck out 1 batter in his 3 innings of work.
A strike on Hunter Pence. I only have 2 more and I'm done. Way to milk it. And my last one, and I promise I'll stop. That's why people say you look like Bill Cowher. 0-2 on Pence. And that's the last time our crew is ever going to show us that shot. They want to stop me in my tracks. Moved his hands. Pence is not afraid to move his feet in the batter's box. We saw him battle against Carlos Marmol last night. He just seems to find a way to get it done.
He's one of those guys, you know, if you were having a hitting clinic, you probably wouldn't invite Hunter Pence to instruct youngsters how to swing the bat.
Well, there you go.
But he gets the job done.
On a 1-2, he's now 2 for 2 with 2 walks against Rich Hill.
Kind of a slashing approach at the plate, carries his hands low, very quick to the ball, long through the ball, and tremendous speed. Boy, we saw him leg out a triple in the ball game last night, and he was low flying around those bases.
Called strike on Craig Biggio. His lone hit last night was his 666th double. So he's in sole possession of 5th on the all-time 2-base hit list. He passed George Brett. And those Craig Biggio #7 caps, the giveaway here in Houston tonight. Nowhere indoors, but they might want to think about an umbrella tonight coming up this week, and all the rain that's expected to hit the city.
You know, some of the rain that was supposed to stay on the outside of Minute Maid Park last night managed to make it through.
Pence running and safe. Kendall had really no shot. That base was stolen off Rich Hill.
Hey, you talk about guess hitters at the plate that go up there and look for a certain pitch, and this time Pence was guess base stealing. He figured Rich had come over there a couple times. He wasn't going to come over again. He just took off on first movement, and Jason Kendall actually makes it fairly close down there at second base with the jump that Pence had.
Biggio almost screwed himself into the ground on that swing. Spun all the way around as he missed that big curveball. 1 out for Hill.
Craig Biggio has always been and remains a dead fastball hitter, especially a high fastball. Rich Hill with a steady diet of breakers to the future Hall of Famer and punches him out. He's now 0 for 6 lifetime against Rich with 3 strikeouts.
Well, the Astros won last night, but they didn't get a lot of help offensively from Lance Berkman. That's rare. Usually when they play well, he's right in the middle of it. He went 0 for 5. With 29 home runs, the most among all switch hitters in the big leagues. And he fouls it back. Strike 1. Good news in Cincinnati as the Reds are leading the Cardinals 3-0. Home runs by Phillips is 29th and Encarnacion is 13th. Helping out Cincinnati, Bronson Arroyo pitching. Anthony Reyes started for St. Louis. He's out. Tyler Johnson's now in. Reyes went 3 1/3. And even though the Cardinals have lost 5 in a row, if they come back and win tonight, they'll only be 3 out. That's why I hesitate when someone says, well, you know, the Cardinals, they're done. Well, probably, but you just can't say definitively so.
Until a team has the little asterisk next to their name, meaning that they're mathematically eliminated, everybody has a chance. I mean, you wouldn't want it any other way. You don't like teams that decide, well, we're out of the race now, we're going to roll over and play dead for the rest of the season. Just not a good way to approach this business. I mean, with all the Cardinals have been through and the way they have struggled recently, you'd like to think that you could put them in the rearview mirror and forget about them, but certainly Lou's not going to forget about them until they are mathematically eliminated.
Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlos Lee on deck. Two pitch, tapper foul. Well, have you been to Red's barber shop? That's where Lou was yesterday, a trim and a shave.
Not yet. I tell you, that is quite a treat, though, to go in there and get the hot lather, strap going, sharpen up that razor.
I think he did it because he was sick of being asked about it. Are you growing a beard? No, I just haven't shaved.
I rarely shaved on the road. I mean, it's just you kind of fall into a rhythm when you're at home. You shave in the morning, you look clean for the game. You go on the road, forget about it. I don't have to shave, I'm not going to.
Flair, DeRosa will leap, and he made the catch. Nicely done. Two down. Paul was able to hang up there just long enough to give Mark a chance to get over there. You saw he was near second when that play started.
Yeah, jockeying Hunter Pence back to the bag and had to reverse field and get out there in shallow right field. As you said, fortunately that ball hung up just long enough for D-Row to get there and make the play.
Lee had a hit last night, scored the game-tying run in the 6th inning. Singled and then scored on the Mark Loretta double. He likes to extend those arms, stands well off the plate. Line foul.
With Rich Hill ahead in the count 1-2, you'd like to think he can go ahead and make some put-away pitches right here. Try to get Carlos Lee to chase a high fastball out of the zone, maybe a breaking ball in the dirt. But you have to be extremely careful with the base open at first and the damage that Carlos Lee has done against the Cubs in his career. I wouldn't expect him to see another pitch in the strike zone the rest of this at bat. If he chases, he chases. If not, he goes on down to first. You take your chances with Mark Loretta.
Fouled back. He might Might have caught it earlier today on WGN. Jim Thome with career homer number 499, and the White Sox beat the Indians.
So hopefully Jason Kendall's going out there to tell Rich Hill that last pitch was way too good. You talked about Carlos Lee wanting to extend his arms. He stands way off the plate so he can get that extension. That time Rich Hill put one right on the outer part of the plate where he could take a good rip at it, fouled it straight back.
Still 1-2. The next pitch. 2-2 now. Rich has pitched well in this park. This is just his second start, but his fourth appearance. A 0.96 earned run average, a 1-0 record. He's 1-0 lifetime against the Astros. And that ball is crushed. Foul.
You know, Len, we talked about it in the open and in the first inning of the ball game as you're getting another look at this foul home run way down the left field line. Too good a pitch once again, given the count. I still think you have to take a step back and look at the big picture. What does the team need right here? You know, sure, Rich Hill is confident that he can make a pitch and strike out Carlos Lee, but if you happen to make a mistake, do you really want to put your team in a 2-0 hole in this situation? Got to make better pitches right here, and the same thing holds true offensively. You just get the feeling that recently the Cubs are pressing. Everybody's trying to be the guy to come up with the big base hit. And there was a time earlier this season where it seemed like if one guy didn't get it done, there was no pressure, no stress. The next guy was going to get it done.
And Lee is a lot like Aramis Ramirez. For a power hitter, he doesn't strike out all that much. Left center, not deep, and Jock Jones is there to make the catch, and the inning is over. Pence left at second base. No score after one.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
The brakes were shot, so I went to AutoZone. With their ZNet system, he showed me pictures of the brakes to make sure I got the right parts, and even gave me complete instructions to do the job right. I tell you, the service you get at AutoZone, you can't beat it.
Introducing the first smartphone that really rocks. The new Moto Q Music from Verizon Wireless. Organize your life and give it a soundtrack. Because smartphones rock harder on America's most reliable wireless network. Verizon Wireless.
Superstation WGN is your home for Big League Baseball. So come on home.
Each team with one hit, but no runs in the first inning. Cliff Floyd hitting fifth tonight. They'll start the second. Cubs and Astros fans are living in harmony here in Houston.
For the time being. Boy, Cliff had some good at-bats in the ball game last night. A couple of very hard hit balls. A base hit in the first. He walked and scored in the third. A line drive to right field in the fourth, and then another base hit in the seventh.
Albers with his 0-1 pitch was inside, 1-1. Cubs had a 4-1 lead last night, which they could not hold. And they are now 2 games under 500 on the road. There's a drive deep to right for Cliff Floyd, and it is gone. Second deck. And it's 1-0. That's his 6th. Well, he continues to take some pretty good hacks, and he knew it. We don't see nearly as many home runs to right in this park as we do to left.
Well, the short porch is in left, but when you hit the ball like this, any fence is a short porch. Yeah, Cliff continues to swing the hot bat. I'll tell you, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that was a brilliant move by Lou Piniella to rest Cliff Floyd for 7 days. Just sat him down, told him to recharge, let his body heal up a little bit, mentally get back in the game, and then bring him on strong here at the end of the season. And Cliff Floyd's put together some of his best at-bats of the year in the last couple days.
th home run for the Cubs this month. They hit 19 the entire month of August. It's only the 12th of September. 3 balls, no strikes on DeRosa. I should mention the road record. Cubs actually 1 under, 34 and 35. 3 over on at home, 39 and 36. Starting play tonight, 73 and 71 overall, and now a half game behind Milwaukee. .3-1 pitch. Now it's 3-2. Let's go back to that home run.
Well, it was a no-doubter off the bat of Cliff Floyd. Albers tries to throw that little curveball up there in the middle of the plate, thinking Cliff was sitting on a heater, but he immediately recognized that pitch, waited on it, and drove it way out of here to right field.
Albers back in it. The 3-2 is hit on the ground up the middle. Loretta can't get to it. It's a base hit.
Mark DeRosa muscled up last night in the ballgame in the 3rd inning after a leadoff walk and a base hit by Aramis Ramirez. Dero lifts one up into the Crawford boxes. It's his 9th home run of the season. And that gave the Cubs that 4-1 lead you were talking about.
The Cubs have just struggled so much to score in this park. 2.3 runs per game in the first 4. And called strike on Jason Kendall. Jason Kendall with a home run and .357 batting average against the Astros this year. Runner goes, and Kendall grounds it right behind DeRosa into right center. First and third with nobody out. That was a thing of beauty. We've seen Jason do that a few times. Just guiding the ball where the infielders were not.
Let me tell you something, Len. On the surface, you look at that, what a perfectly executed hit and run. But look at Mark DeRosa at first base. A false start over there. That can't happen on a hit and run. You have to make sure that pitcher's throwing the ball home. Now, everything worked out okay because Jason Kendall can handle the bat so well at home plate. But Mark DeRosa with a false start got out there in no man's land, decided just to keep on going towards second base, and Jason Kendall protected his teammate that time.
Double play depth up the middle. Wigginton even with a bag at third. Berkman holds on Kendall. And the pitch to the 8-hitter Ryan Theriot is low. Is there value in having a top of the order guy just kind of relax in the first inning or so? Just kind of watch everything play out. Maybe, I don't know, take a little pressure off him.
We'll see. It is a big difference when you know you're going to hit in that first inning of the ball game, especially when you've been struggling. It does tend to put a little added pressure on you, and you slide a guy down into that 8 spot. The situation here with runners at first and third, a guy at the plate that handles the bat pretty well, decent speed on the bases, and even an opportunity here hitting in the 8-hole to make something happen.
Hunter Pence coming in. Here comes the throw toward the plate. DeRosa trying to score. Tag applied. Safe. He got in. Very close, but he slid in ahead of the tag. 2-0.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Hunter Pence showcasing a pretty good short arm throw here to the plate, all the way in the air to Humberto Quintero, and just a great slide by Mark DeRosa. He doesn't give Quintero much to tag right there, leaning his body away from the plate, getting that left foot on the plate.
And they're going to appeal, I believe, at third base. Didn't work, so DeRosa was able to hold up until Pence made the catch in the eyes of Andy Fletcher at third base. And I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. Rich Hill did something that I don't think we see enough of. Bunted foul. You could see on that replay he got around and he was telling his teammate to get down. And there are too many times, and it's not just the Cubs, where the on-deck hitter is watching the play develop and is not helping his teammate.
That's exactly what it is. You can always do something to help your team win a ball game, even if it's just running up there behind home plate and letting that guy know which direction the throw is coming and which direction he should slide.
Bunted foul. It's kind of an awkward bunt. Like he had his hands together when he made contact. Quaddy, the third base coach, giving the signs. I mean, Rich did what every on-deck hitter is supposed to do, but you almost get more surprised when you see a guy actually do it.
Well, Rich would much rather go back out to take the ball for the next half inning with a 2-run lead than a 1-run lead.
And he bunts it foul for strike 3. Well, sack bunts were not a problem late for the Cubs. They had 3 straight innings, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, in which they laid down successful sacrifices, but unfortunately it would not ultimately lead to a run.
Yeah, Jason Kendall in the 8th, Felix PA in the 9th, and then Jason Kendall once again in the 10th. Perfectly executed sack bunts.
Swing and a miss at a curveball. 1 strike. Albers is a local kid, born in Houston. Attended San Jacinto Junior College. Andy Pettit and Roger Clemens both attended that school at one time. Soriano fouled that ball off his front foot or a leg. He has protection on that shin in the ankle area.
See that wide spread stance, the big leg kick, the front foot comes right back down where it started, and unfortunately that foul ball got him above the padded area there on his left shin.
See the clouds passing through. Wind blowing hard. The latest report I had read was there's more concern about just the amount of rain and possible flooding here than there is about the wind. You can see those clouds are really moving. Now Alfonso Soriano worried about his foot. Boy, that's a rough at bat.
He's hit foul balls off of everything but the pad. One off his left instep and one just below his left knee.
He needs a shankle pad. Shin and ankle.
Give him a catcher's shin guard.
1-2 pitch. Check swing. He will appeal, and he checked it. Well, you have to have some strong wrists with that heavy bat to not go around.
Trying to convince first base umpire Jeff Kellogg that he didn't go.
Lifted in the air, back of short. And Loretta calls off Lee to make the catch. The Cubs get 2. A home run by Floyd to start it. 3 batters later, a sac fly by Ryan Theriot. It's 2-0.
What makes the world's perfect beer? Start with the choicest hops and the best barley malt. Then Beechwood age it for that crisp, clean taste. Finally, throw in a football and 60,000 friends. The taste that makes it game day. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Ooh, the never-ending pasta bowl is going on.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I had no idea.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl with new smoked mozzarella Alfredo. Pick any sauce and pasta combination, then another. Just $8.95. Have all you want.
You can never have too many people on your side. Right there when you need them most. And now, 2 names committed to improving senior health are there for you too. Introducing AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons, the only Medicare Advantage plan with the AARP name on it. AARP and Secure Horizons are committed to seniors and all Medicare beneficiaries, and we'd like to send you a free educational guide, Medicare Advantage Explained. To get yours, call today. Together, we can help you get more from your Medicare benefits.
I've known Secure Horizons by United Healthcare for years. Medicare health plans are their specialty. And now with AARP, I'm expecting even better things to come.
I'll be at your side. There's no need to worry.
AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons. Call now for your free guide.
Becker, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports from deep in the heart of Texas is brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth
it. Bob Brenly, Len Casper, and our WGN Sports crew from Houston, Texas. Cubs leading 2-0. If it holds up, and we have a long way to go, the Cubs will be back in first, along with the Brewers. Cliff Floyd started the second with a home run. The Cubs would add one later on a sacrifice fly from Ryan Theriot. 2-0 on Mark Loretta. Tied the game with a double last night, and then walked in the 11th inning. He was removed for a pinch runner, Eric Bruntlett, who would come around and score the winning run. Kind of odd on a game-ending hit of that nature. Luke Scott was credited with a triple. He got all the way to third base.
Actually, I watched him. He ended up stepping on home plate. Ultimately, he ran all the way to third. Then he came down the third base line along with the third base coach, Doug Manzolino, and ultimately ended up stepping on home plate. But this was the drive to the gap in right center that plated Bruntlett all the way from first base.
Scott will hit third in this inning. Full count, 3-2. And a leadoff walk. anything about that Loretta walk in the 11th, it was the only walk allowed by the Cubs all night. That brings up Ty Wigginton playing the hot corner. And you see his numbers as an Astro. 98 games to start the year with Tampa Bay. He had 16 home runs, knocked in 49, and batted .275. So he slugged a little bit better with the Devil Rays, but his on-base percentage much better here in the National League. Knocked down by Kendall. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And we mentioned it last night. Wigginton has also played flawless defense here for the Astros. This will be his 35th start for Houston. Has yet to make an error. He made 8 errors in 98 ball games for Tampa Bay.
Well, you know that category that we sometimes file things under, things that make you go, Well, the Cubs are just 6-7 against the Houston Astros this year. But as I look up and down the Astros roster and their numbers against the Cubs, Lance Berkman hitting .196, Biggio .156, Bruntlett .222, Burke .148, Mike Land .200, Jason Lane .118, Loretta .200, Hunter Pence .226. That's amazing. Now Carlos Lee is hitting .294 with just 2 home runs. Luke Scott .308. Most of the Astros have really scuffled against the Cubs this year. That tells you that the Cubs offense hasn't done a whole lot either. Another full count. Rich with about a 3-to-1 ratio, strikeouts to walks this year, 162 strikeouts, but he just walked the second batter to start the bottom of the second. That's not a good omen here in this inning. So now 58 walks on the year, and it will be Luke Scott.
That's not a good omen either when your manager's up on the top step of the dugout after your second walk of the inning, clapping his hands in encouragement to Rich Hill. If he walks one more, it won't be quite as encouraging.
Scott's hitting for a lot of power this month, slugging .759 early on in September, and his 18 home runs, the most by a Houston left-handed hitter since Darrell Ward smacked 20 back in 2000. Their club record for a lefty, just 23 home runs, Franklin Stubbs in 1990. I think that says a lot about the spacious ballpark, the Astrodome in which they played, and the fact that it's a lot harder to hit balls out in right field than it is in left in this park. There's a former Astro getting his batting gloves on already. Swing and a miss. So 1 out in the inning. Gives Rich a little breathing room as he gets now toward the bottom of the order. The number 8 hitter, Quintero, coming up.
A little different at bat that time by Luke Scott. He's had some real aggressive swings against right-handed pitching in this series. Not quite as aggressive that time against Rich Hill. And now an opportunity if Rich Hill can throw a ground ball to get out of this inning.
Quintero has started both games of this series behind the plate. We haven't seen Brad Ausmus, nor have we seen Eric Munson. We will not see Roy Oswalt for the second consecutive series against the Cubs. Oswalt will not pitch. He'll throw on Friday against the Pirates, which I believe will set him up to face Milwaukee next week.
Well, Phil Rogers from the Tribune has obviously done his homework and counted ahead on the schedule to figure this out. But in their next 18 games, the Brewers figure to see Roy Oswalt, Tim Hudson, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, Chris Young. And if the Padres are still battling in that National League West, they'll probably see Jake Peavy. And if you look ahead to the Cubs' upcoming schedule, they're going to get Bronson Arroyo and Aaron Harang. And Dontrell Willis is probably the closest thing to an ace they will see down the stretch. So just another one of those things that seems to be stacked heavily in the Cubs' favor.
Let's see where Ramirez will go to first for the second out. No sense in taking any chances. That is the second out. And you have the pitcher coming up. And by the way, Albers is a left-handed hitter, even though he's a right-handed pitcher. There's never a good time, Bob, to walk the first two batters of an inning. But if it is going to happen, you'd much rather do it at the bottom of this order than in front of Berkman and Lee. Still not out of the woods here. That's a big pitch. Now it's 1-1. He does not want to face Hunter Pence. Two and one. Steve Traxel will start tomorrow. It'll be his third start with the Cubs. And Woody Williams will be on the mound for Houston.
One good curveball right here, and you would assume Matt Albers at bat will be over. He's had a steady diet of fastballs here to run the count to 2-2. Saw his numbers as a hitter, 2 for 22 on the season. Just got a piece, not only of the ball, but of Jason Kendall as well. Yeah, Jason Kendall and Mark DeRosa can compare bruises, and it's almost a road map of the season. Yeah, that one came in San Francisco, and I got that one against the Dodgers at home.
Called strike three on a fastball well located to freeze Albers. And Hill gets out of it after walking the first two of the inning. It's 2-0 Cubs after two.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
When my doctor told me my high blood pressure may have led to my erectile dysfunction, I was surprised. But then he said there was something I could do.
When I found out my diabetes could have led to my ED, I learned there was help.
My doctor told me about Levitra.
Levitra is clinically proven to work for men with ED, even those with high blood pressure or diabetes. Levitra is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. If you have heart problems or are on alpha blocker therapy, talk to your doctor before taking Levitra. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing and stuffy or runny nose. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience an erection lasting longer than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Levitra and call your doctor right away.
Doctors know Levitra helps treat ED, even in men with high blood pressure.
And in men with diabetes.
Over 1 million men just like me have already taken Levitra.
You should talk to your doctor about Levitra.
The more you know about ED, the more you'll want to know about Levitra.
Next, Reno 911. Sometimes life on the force is a drag.
Do you need backup? No. I'm deep cover.
Did they have Friday off?
Other times, it's a blast. Reno 911.
Friday at 1 a.m.
Next Monday is Kimberly-Clark Day at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Reds at 7:05. Thank you to Kimberly-Clark, a leading global health and hygiene company with brands such as Kleenex, Scott, and Huggies. Cubs trainers were attending to Aramis Ramirez. He's due up third in this inning. Jones then lead, then Aramis. Jock 1 for 1. 4 for 7 in the series. 1 ball, no strikes. Good numbers hitting second, which is where he was quite a bit when Soriano was out on the disabled list. Ryan Terrio hit leadoff at that time. Tapper foul, 1-2. There's Lee on deck. Derek came in with an 8-game hitting streak. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ty Wigginton trying to replicate that Lou Piniella look.
He's not sure where Red's barbershop is. He's new to Houston.
I wonder if Red was a Red Barber fan.
Ooh, very good.
Lance Berkman didn't think that was funny.
Lance Berkman probably shaved at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That guy can grow a beard.
Popped up by Jones. Biggio on the outfield grass. One out, and it's Derek Lee. It's interesting, Bob, with all the day games at home, and then the Cubs hit the road. And, they've played more night games at home lately, but this week you have 3 night games here. Night game on Friday in St. Louis. We talk so much about a player's routine. I just happened to see a few guys walking around. There's like a mall type area near the hotel, and they frankly look bored. I think it's easy for Cubs players in particular to feel that way when you play so many games that start at 1:20. It's 2:30, 3 o'clock. You say to yourself, you know what, I'm ready. Let's go. And this is a team that's excited. I mean, they're in the race. Saw Mark DeRosa comment where he saw an ad for the postseason. He said it really fired him up. There's a walk. Derek is on with 1 out.
I think that's why you see so many guys coming to the ballpark earlier and earlier every day. Why sit around your hotel or go to the mall and spend money when you can go to the ballpark and watch some of the out-of-town games? Every visiting clubhouse in baseball has the baseball package, so you can see the out-of-town games, maybe get a little extra hitting in the cage, maybe a little extra treatment in the training room. Play some cards or dominoes against your teammates, sit in there and lie and tell stories. It beats hanging around the hotel.
Quick throw to first, leap back in plenty of time. It was a tough loss for Ryan Dempster in particular last night. I mean, we talked about it briefly after the game. The story of that game was all the missed offensive opportunities. Carlos Marmol, Bob Howery, each with 2 scoreless innings, and Demp went 1-2-3 in the 10th. Then he walked the second hitter of the 11th inning, and he said he made a bad pitch on Luke Scott. Ryan did talk to the writers, but it was very short. And, he knows how much a loss like that can sting. Careful now, trying to move that foul pole, huh? Well, the Cubs don't mind that pole being a little bit to the left. Runner goes, and Quintero throws from his knees. He got it. Oh, man. What a throw by Quintero with a cannon back of the plate. And he nailed Derek Lee.
That's
Bob Brenly-like.
Yeah, almost. Would have fallen flat on my face there, probably blown out both knees, but he put it right on the button to Craig Biggio for the quick tag on Derek Lee. That's one thing Quintero's always been able to do. He's got a strong arm behind the plate. That caught stealing of Derek Lee gets him to 50% on the season catching opposing base stealers.
He had no business throwing out Derek on that play, but he did. I mean, you had to attempt to throw like that a few times just by necessity. No, always able to get on your feet.
Well, I tried to stay on my feet as often as possible. Benito Santiago was a guy during my playing career that it was in San Diego at the time, and kind of reintroduced that. I won't say he invented it. He wasn't the first catcher to ever do it, but he was really the first catcher to rely on it almost solely as his way of throwing out base runners at second base. But Benito Santiago didn't have any ligaments or tendons in his arm.
Not caught. It's trapped by Wigginton, and Ramos stopped running, thought that ball was caught, and he's thrown out easily by Wigginton. It's 2-0 Cubs.
When the world is at risk. One man is heading underwater and getting in way too deep.
You ever dived a boat before, Lieutenant? I mean on purpose.
Kelsey Grammer, Lauren Holly, and Rob Schneider.
These men love me!
Down Periscope.
Thursday at 8. Think back to the best beer you've ever had. Now, get ready to top it. Fresh Budweiser served on draft. No other beer is this fresh. And the taste, just as the brewmaster intended. Will it be your best beer ever? I say we find out. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. Then there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, in as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
2-0. The Cubs lead the Astros. Top of the order now for Houston. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with Ramos. Grimacing a little bit. 0 for 2 at the plate. And able to remain in. Pence with the only hit for the Astros, a leadoff single back in the first. Curveball strike from Hill. Last 2 starts have not gone well for Rich. 11 earned runs in 11 innings. 15 hits. Got a no decision 2 starts ago against these Astros at Wrigley Field. That was a game in which the Cubs came from behind, erased a 5-1 deficit and won 6-5. 6-1 loss at Pittsburgh his last time out. Last offseason, Rich Hill told Vineline if he weren't a major league pitcher, he'd like to be a hockey player or an announcer on television. Swing and a miss.
Well, don't be in a big hurry, Rich. That's something you can do when your career is over.
That's right. You can also be on the blog. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check it out on WGNTV.com. We'll have game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. Ron Santo's great 7th inning stretch rendition from Monday's win over the Cardinals, and a link to this week's podcast. It's all on WGNTV.com. I believe there will be a post from yours truly up there at some point. Yeah, it is up on the board. I have a question for all the diehard Cub fans out there. And the question revolves around, how are you feeling right now about this team? Are you excited? They're only a half game out. On the ground, it'll be Terrio, Biggio. Are you anxious about how the final 2.5 weeks are going to play out? Are you frustrated by the inconsistency of this team, or a little bit of all of the above?
Yes to all of the above, I think.
Is your stomach turning right now?
Well, it should be. That's what, pennant race baseball is all about. If it was easy, it wouldn't be any fun.
Yeah, anything worthwhile in life usually takes some hard work and a little adversity.
I mean, you think back to spring training and the quotes you heard out of every camp. If we can stay healthy, we'd like to play meaningful games in the month of September. Well, here we are.
Sky high, and it's Jock Jones camped underneath. First 1-2-3 inning for Rich Hill. The Cubs lead the Astros 2-0 after 3.
Hernandez. And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier. What a marvelous night for the action. Let's go to the play-by-play. Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no. Rejected. Clyde, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man our Just for Men brush-in color gel. It's specially formulated to penetrate coarse facial hair and gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
Home run. Another win with Just for Men.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Good job by Rich Hill tonight. The Cubs lead 2-0. Cliff Floyd leading off his second inning. Back in inning number 2, he hit a home run. What's going to happen here in the 4th? Cliff with a Bit of a look at Matt Albers.
You know, he saw a pitch like that in his first at bat when he ultimately hit a homer to right field. A fastball inside. Cliff barely able to get out of the way that time. I was telling you between innings, I think Cliff's going to get him again. Maybe not this at bat, but sometime tonight. Because he hit a home run off a curveball his first at bat of the game, he may have scared Matt Albers away from that pitch. Back-to-back fastballs inside off the plate. I think that's the way sometimes veteran hitters think. They go to the plate and do some damage against one pitch from an opposing pitcher, and the next time you go to the plate, you don't look for that pitch again because the guy's probably not going to give it to you. And if he does, it's probably not going to be in the strike zone.
Ooh. Oh, man, a rocket. And Pence misplayed it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Floyd near second base. He's going to try for 3. And he will get there standing. A home run and a triple for Cliff Floyd. He hits the hardest line drives I've ever seen.
Oh. Pence comes in a couple steps, starts moving to his right. That ball just took off over his head to straightaway center field. Man, when you see guys hit a ball like this, somebody always yells out, get the married guys off the infield. Cliff Floyd has squared up 2 balls in this game like you cannot believe. Little elevation, and he probably hits that one out of here to center field.
Swing and a miss by DeRosa. I haven't heard that one. That's a good one. 23rd career triple for Cliff Floyd, his first this year.
Boy, Cliff looked good running the bases, too. I was kind of surprised to look up after initially watching Pence chase that ball in center field, and Cliff was motoring around those bases.
Ground ball to short. Floyd has to hold. 1 out. Jason Kendall coming up. He singled his first time. 5-1 now in the 7th inning. Reds leading the Cardinals. Tony La Russa's had to use 3 relievers backing up Anthony Reyes tonight. Bronson Arroyo with a quality start. 6 innings, 1 run. Although his line not yet finished. Well, this is one of those years where the bottom 3 teams in the division are having a huge effect on the top 3. The Reds, the Pirates, and the Astros. Astros wondering if the Cubs had a play on, maybe a squeeze, so they pitched out. Pirates have won back-to-back series against the top 2 teams in the division. Took 2 of 3 from the Cubs over the weekend, and they just did it to Milwaukee. Reds looking for their 2nd straight win over St. Louis in that series, and the Astros won game 1 last night here. Albers has a sign. The 2-0 pitch called strike on the inside part of the plate. 2-1. Albers really slowing things down, and too much for Kendall's liking. The 24-year-old righty coming back, and a bouncer foul past Cliff. Ooh. And that youngster went down for that ball and came up and hit him, I think, in the shoulder area, but he's all right. He's smiling. He has the ball.
Future third baseman. Knock it down, throw him out. What our buddy Ron Santos said, all it takes to be a good third baseman, a strong chest and a strong arm. Tough kid.
Still 2-2. Every time a fan gets a souvenir ball, they inspect it for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's not that much reading material on a Major League Baseball, but
Bud Selig's autograph. Major League Baseball. That's about it. Popped up. This is probably going to keep Floyd at third base. Scott makes the catch. And 2 outs. So while the Cubs lead 2-0, their struggles with runners in scoring position have continued. So it's up to Terrio.
I'd be surprised if Ryan Terrio gets anything good to hit in this at bat with 2 outs and first base open with a runner at third, the pitcher on deck. This is a pretty obvious pitch around situation. If they fall behind 2-0, I'm sure they'll just stand up and pass him intentionally and go after Rich Hill.
Chopper over the third baseman. Loretta won't even make a throw. It's an infield hit. And it's 3-0. Nicely done.
Attaboy Riot. Yeah, take advantage. That's kind of a puzzling move right there. Already trailing by 2 runs in the ball game, and the Astros decide to go ahead and pitch to the 8-hitter. Ryan finds that hard piece of dirt in front of home plate, bounces it over the head of Ty Wigginton. No chance for Loretta to throw him out from that deep in the hole.
And he just snapped his 0 for 13.
Saw Mike Quaddy with a fist pump in the background there.
Swing and a miss by Rich Hill. Based on the glare from Floyd to Albers, that was a fun at bat for Cliff. When we talk about how hitters sometimes they don't appreciate being pitched inside, and sometimes pitchers have to do it, but the best way to get a guy back is to do what Cliff did. He has a home run and a triple, 7 total bases tonight, 2 runs.
Well, you got the 2 hardest legs of the cycle out of the way already. Whoops.
Rich would like a do-over. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6 hits for the Cubs. They lead 3-0. And a swing and a miss to end the inning. Terrio comes through after DeRosa and Kendall made outs with Floyd at third. It's now 3-0 Cubs.
Who is Dave Chappelle? Really? He's Rick James, Lil Jon, Blackzilla, a Black Klansman, a Milkman, Tron Carter, Silky Johnson, Gallagher, Prince.
Here's a celebration.
Chappelle's show is coming to late night.
Premieres Friday on Superstation WGN.
We're not going to make it.
Can you get us to the airport in 15 minutes? Cheaper than a change fee if we miss our flight.
As with all airlines, it may cost more to rebook your flight, but on Southwest, we never charge an additional fee.
You are now free to move about the country.
You can never have too many people on your side. Right there when you need them most. And now, 2 names committed to improving senior health are there for you too. Introducing AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons, the only Medicare Advantage plan with the AARP name on it. AARP and Secure Horizons are committed to seniors and all Medicare beneficiaries, and we'd like to send you a free educational guide, Medicare Advantage Explained. To get yours, call today. Together, we can help you get more from your Medicare benefits.
I've known Secure Horizons by United Healthcare for years. Medicare health plans are their specialty. And now with AARP, I'm expecting even better things to come.
I'll be at your side. There's no need to worry.
AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons. Call now for your free guide.
Go, go, go.
Chicago's very own Common is coming to the Charter One Pavilion on Northerly Island September 20th with special guest Joss Stone. The show is presented by LiveNation.com and part of the Bud Light Concert Series. For information and tickets, visit LiveNation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and live music, always worth it.
Cliff Floyd's had a great start to this one. A home run and a triple.
If you're thinking about going to that show, I would recommend that you go.
Bouncer foul, 1 and 2. Be a good song for a third base coach.
Yeah, go.
Doug Mansolino has probably the best penmanship of any lineup card author in Major League history.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would have matched my own guy, Eddie Rodriguez, who incidentally looks a lot like Doug Mansolino. But Eddie Rodriguez had some calligraphy training, and he was meticulous about that lineup card.
Yeah, Doug has the different colors. I think he does like lefties in red, switch hitters in a different color. And you can see actually it looks like Berkman is in blue, so switch hitters in blue. And lefties in red.
Yeah, lefties in red.
Swing and a miss.
And that's not just for artistic reasons. It makes it a lot easier for a manager when you look at that lineup card to immediately see where the left-handers are, where the switch hitters are. And we know where Carlos Lee is. He's on his way back to the dugout. Chased a fastball up and out of the strike zone for strike 3.
Get a better look at that lineup card. Alan Trammell, let's just say he's handy with the computer. That has become quite a festive moment here in the last couple of weeks. When Alan Trammell posts the Cubs lineup card. Nice play by Ramirez, a stop fire, and Lee couldn't corral it. The red is on. Got to be a hit. It is.
Nice stop by Ramirez, going all the way over into foul territory, rights himself, makes the strong throw. Unfortunately has a little bit of sink on it right at the end. Lee got a glove on it, but it just wouldn't stay in that first baseman's mitt.
And Arama's still grimacing. I don't know if it's his back or what, but this doesn't look very comfortable. He's had knee and wrist problems. Tran has posted that lineup card lately. It's like the new Harry Potter book coming out. Everybody flocks around. Let me get a look at it.
You don't want to be in the vicinity. You'll get stampeded. That's where we have a huge advantage. You know,
he takes care of us.
Yeah, we're on the ball, around the ball club every day, and when nobody's looking, you can kind of moonwalk back into the coach's room and take a quick look at the lineup before everybody else gets a chance to see it.
I prefer to sashay myself. As Ramirez goes to second for one, the relay throw, that one dug out by Lee. It's a double play, 5-4-3 to get out of the inning. Nicely done. Cubs 3, Astros nothing.
Messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? We start with the salad, then pass around the breadsticks, and finish with the perfect bite.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Reunited and it
1 in 3 pets will get lost. So Home Again created the only proactive pet recovery network, instantly alerting local vets and shelters the minute your pet is reported missing. Talk to your vet today about Home Again.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
Kelsey Grammer, Lauren Hawley, William H. Macy, and Rob Schneider.
These men love me!
Down Periscope.
Thursday at 8.
Vintage Derek Lee on a double play ball, 5-4-3.
Yeah, Derek would probably tell you he should have had the first one from Aramis Ramirez, was stretched way out there past the point of comfort, but this time, nice backhanded short hop pick to complete the double play.
He has a way of just kind of slowing the play down.
That's what good athletes in any sport do. They have the ability to slow everything around them down. I'm talking to hitters who have been in hot streaks before, and when they try to describe what it feels like at the plate, it's like they have all day to decide whether they want to swing at a pitch. Is it a strike? Is it a fastball? Is it a curveball? Where will I hit it? If I swing at it, I think I'll take that one and wait for the next one. And when you're struggling, man, it seems like that ball is past you before you have a chance to even realize you're at the plate.
Lonzie's getting it closer to the foul line.
Ability to slow things down, at least mentally. Obviously, everything you do in baseball is quick and explosive physically, but the ability to slow the game down mentally.
This will be Loretta to make the catch. Well, you have to do that as a hitter, too. You think about how fast a fastball is. You have to be quick to get it, but in your mind you have to slow it down because you need to give yourself time to determine if it's going to be a hittable pitch.
That's what I've been told. And the easiest way to do that is to approach the plate with a clear mind. If you're thinking too much, he started me with a fastball last time. He's got that good curve, but I got to be careful with the changeup. And man, since there's a runner at first, maybe he's going to pitch me in because he doesn't want to. You start thinking too much, and I think Walter Alston, the former great Dodger, put it best: a full mind is an empty bat. The more you think about up there at the plate, the less chance you have of successfully putting the ball in play hard. I mean, how many times do you hear a guy who's in a hot streak and the writers will ask him after the game, what was that pitch you hit for a home run? I don't know. It was just something right there. I saw it real good and I whacked it. Well, that's the way you like it to be. Don't overthink it. See it and hit it.
Big Z will be back on the mound Friday night from St. Louis. He'll get an extra day of rest, and then his next start will be on short rest. Three and two on Jock. Lined right at the shortstop, Loretta. Bob, we want to send out our condolences to the family of John Peterson, a lifelong Cubs fan from Rockford, Illinois, who passed away early Monday morning. John's son Tom is the outstanding bass player for Cheap Trick, and he is survived by his wife Marge, sons Tom and Jim, and daughter Jane. So our sympathies go out to the family of John Peterson. Ooh, Derek fouled that ball off his leg. Albert coming out.
Eric putting
very little pressure.
Limping on the right leg, it appeared. The high leg kick from D. Lee. It looked like he might have found it right down off the top of his kneecap there. It just crumbled at home plate. Usually there's a slight delay after that ball hits you before you realize that damage has been done, but not that time. D. Lee went straight to the ground. Trying to walk it off here. It's kind of hard to see, but I think it's his back knee. Just gets a piece of this ball, deflects it down off of his right knee. Well, just one more Cub that can compare bruises after the ball game. And you saw that high front leg kick from Derek Lee, and if he just fouled a ball off his right knee, that means when he lifts that left leg off the ground, all of his weight shifts back to that right leg. That doesn't feel good.
Seemed to run okay down the line. He's thrown out by Wigginton. And the Cubs go down in order for the first time tonight, 3-0.
Fall in love with breakfast again. With a real sit-down breakfast everybody will love, like Denny's French toast. So bring the family and pass the syrup.
When my doctor told me my high blood pressure may have led to my erectile dysfunction, I was surprised. But then he said there was something I could do.
When I found out my diabetes could have led to my ED, I learned there was help.
My doctor told me about Levitra.
Levitra is clinically proven to work for men with ED, even those with high blood pressure or diabetes. Levitra is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. If you have heart problems or are on alpha blocker therapy, talk to your doctor before taking Levitra. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing and stuffy or runny nose. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience an erection lasting longer than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Levitra and call your doctor right away.
Doctors know Levitra helps treat ED, even in men with high blood pressure.
And in men with diabetes.
Over 1 million men just like me have already taken Levitra.
You should talk to your doctor about Levitra.
The more you know about ED, the more you'll want to know about Levitra.
Superstation WGN is your home for Big League Baseball, so come on home.
Well, Derek Lee battling a sore right knee after fouling a ball off the knee in his last at bat. Luke Scott hitting 7th tonight for the Astros, and he looks at ball 1. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Rich Hill much sharper tonight than his last 2 outings. Cubs need it. Easy play for DeRosa on the backhand.
Get a look at Derek Lee trying to motor down that first baseline. First of all, notice how short the leg kick was that time as opposed to the ball he fouled off his knee, and grimacing every time he has to extend that right leg and push off.
One and one on Quintero. Astros have 81 losses, so their next defeat will clinch a losing season. Southpaw Mark McLemore up for the Astros. High pop fly. Jones in. DeRosa is calling for it, but Jock's going to take it. 2 outs. We got a nice email from Steve in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, Len and Bob, I just wanted to comment on Bob's involvement in 9 innings from ground zero. I have watched that every year since it was produced and always come away thinking what a privilege it is to have such a class act in the booth for the Cubs. You both epitomize Cubs baseball with your insight and commentary during Cub games. Bob, I especially remember your appreciation of that situation with the Yankees during a time of year that is still difficult for most. Thanks for the great work, and go Cubs. Yesterday, the 6th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. The terrorist attacks. And later on that fall, the Yankees and Diamondbacks in the World Series.
Well, thank you for that nice email. And it was such a sensitive situation for everybody. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, playing baseball is a luxury. It's entertainment. It's a distraction. It's a diversion. And at that particular time in our country's history, that's exactly what was needed. Not overstating baseball's importance by any stretch of the imagination, but especially for the people of New York. They really needed something, even if it was just for a couple of hours a day, to take their minds off what they were having to deal with the other 24 or 22 hours of the day. So in that respect, I've never been prouder to be a part of the game of baseball for what we provided, not only to the citizens of New York, but for the country.
Great diving stop by Aramis Ramirez to rob Albers of a hit. And we have completed 5 from Houston, and the Cubs are on top by 3.
What would your parents do if there were 2 of you? They'd be twice as patient.
Oh, I am not disappointed.
They'd yell twice as loud.
Why do I get the feeling everything I say is going in one ear and out the other?
But why wonder? Watch Sister Sister. It's 2 times everything, and now it's on 5 days a week.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
What makes the world's perfect beer? Start with the choicest hops and the best barley malt. Then Beechwood age it for that crisp, clean taste. Finally, throw in a football and 60,000 friends. The taste that makes it game day. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Turn right. The Baxters use their Verizon Wireless Navigator every weekend. And so do their kids. Free to get GPS turn-by-turn directions without limits, they easily find all kinds of places. No one's ever lost, and no one ever finds out. What's going on? Because with a Verizon Wireless Premium plan, unlimited navigation, messaging, access to videos, and more are all included. Sign your family up today. And when you buy this Crazer, you can get 3 razors free. Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
Now a look at tonight's Honda Civic game summary. The Cubs with 3 runs on 6 hits. Cliff Floyd with a big night at the plate. Ryan Terrio's knocked in 2 from the 8th spot. And it's been Rich Hill on the mound, shutting out Houston through 5. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. Ramirez hits the first pitch out into center. Hunted down by Pence.
Been a busy night for Cliff Floyd already. Tape measured blast down the right field line. His first at bat of the ball game. Then after getting knocked off the plate by Matt Albers, it's a screaming line drive over the head of center fielder Hunter Pence all the way up Towles Hill out there in center, and Cliff chugs into third base with a triple.
Towles Hill, named after the president baseball operations for the Astros, Tal Smith. He's also now the acting general manager. They're looking for a new GM. Former Astros player and general manager Bob Watson. There's Tal Smith, along with Drayton McClain, the owner. Bob Watson, also former Major League general managers Jim Beattie and Ed Wade among the candidates for that position. The Astros now might have a little competition with the Pirates looking for a GM. Outside corner for a strike. It's 3-1.
Buckle your chin straps.
Oh, for a waist high heater right here. 3-1. Check swing strike.
Got the fastball just in a location he wasn't prepared for. Couldn't quite hold up there. Well, he still has to get one more strike here in 3-2 count.
Pulls those hands down. The 3-2 high in the air. Pence again, 2 outs. Cub fans still looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year. Visit Cubs.com. Click on replay, the official secondary market site for the Chicago Cubs. See a Cubs game from the best seats at Wrigley Field. Check out replay at Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Final homestand will be next week. That is of the regular season. Reds and Pirates are in. At some point the Cubs are going to see the Astros bullpen like to tack on against a bullpen that dealt 6 shutout innings last night. Sounds like Cecil Cooper left it open for Brad Lidge possibly to be available tonight if needed. He went 2 innings through a ton of pitches. Probably won't see Carlos Marmol for the Cubs, and Howry and Dempster are available, but probably not for more than an inning. I always say probably and likely as opposed to definitely, because when a manager tells you that a guy is not available, that's not necessarily the case. It's what the plan is.
Ideally we won't have to use him, but if necessary, I will run him out there. And for Brad Lidge, I think it had been 3 days since he pitched before last night, so even though he threw a lot of pitches in the ball game last night, he should be good to go.
And DeRosa good to go. Lee up with it. Throw to second. The slide. The tag. He's in. That's the second time DeRosa has barely gotten in. Remember on the sac fly by Terrio. In the second inning, he was safe at the plate by a whisker, and same thing here at second on a double.
This is such an odd ballpark. You figure you hit a line drive all the way to the wall in left field. That should be an easy double. We saw Luke Scott hit a ball to right center field. You figure that's an easy double. Well, one turned into a triple, and the other one almost turned into a single and a put out at second base. Another good slide, as you mentioned, a pop-up slide to the inside part of second base there, not giving Craig Biggio much to tag. Same thing he did at home plate to avoid the tag of Humberto Quintero earlier in the ball game.
Dave Wallace, the Astros pitching coach, is going to make the slow walk out to the mound.
You know, one thing, the slide by DeRosa made it easier for second base umpire Eric Cooper to make that call. So many times you see a base runner slide into a base and his lead foot will be up in the air and go over the base, and he'll actually hit the bag with his bent leg underneath. If you get that lead leg on the base and allow that to stop your forward momentum, it makes it much easier for the umpire to determine when you actually get to the bag. Pow! Right there, his foot's on the base. He pops up out of his slide. Very close play, but DeRosa called safe at second.
Brian Moeller up for the Astros, right-hander. In there on Kendall. Tell you what, it may just be that there haven't been a lot of borderline pitches tonight, but there haven't been a lot of arguments or long looks at Mike Riley's strike zone. And in all fairness to the umpires, we pointed out when guys have a problem with their strike zone, but it's been very quiet tonight. Riley in his 31st year. Sometimes it just depends on the night, but you'll have hitters every half inning looking at the umpire saying, "Are you sure?"
And if you pay close attention, it's usually the same umpires. You watch out-of-town games and you see a couple guys got ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Check and see who the plate umpire was, and I guarantee you that's a guy that will continue to have problems.
Long throw by Loretta, and he just got Kendall for the third out. DeRosa's two-out double does not result in a run. It's 3-0 Cubs.
Reggie's got a guy.
It's the gay guy. That guy wasn't gay until after he dated her.
Meet Reggie's mystery date next. Becker.
Tonight at 12:30 Eastern.
Flying out of Chicago Midway for business? Southwest Airlines isn't just for short flights anymore. We offer nonstop flights to LA, DC, Phoenix, Houston, Long Island, Philly, and dozens of other destinations. You wanted more nonstop flights for business, so we're flying more nonstops than ever before.
You are now free to move about the country.
Women seem to be coming on to me in an unusual manner.
You have sex with someone and then they find their true love.
That's ridiculous.
I guess you are a lucky charm.
On September 21st.
Fess up about this charm.
No, it's not me.
The man everyone wants. Only wants her.
What makes you think I'll be kissing you?
Dane Cook.
Kim's the one man.
Jessica Alba.
Now?
Wait till I get this.
Good Luck, Chuck. Rated R. In theaters everywhere September 21st.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old town.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Sometimes life on the force is a drag.
Lieutenant?
Doesn't he have Friday off?
Reno 911.
Friday at 1 a.m.
While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Right along with the Reno Sheriff's Department as they bring their unique style of law enforcement to Superstation WGN, Reno 911, Friday night at 1. Part of our new Friday night comedy lineup.
Top of the order now for the Astros. Well, the bad news for the Rockies tonight in Philadelphia, they hit into a triple play. But no big deal. They're up 11-0 in Philadelphia in the top of the ninth. Rockies starting the day 3.5 out. And a game behind the Phillies. This is all in the wild card. The Padres leading the way. The Phillies 2.5. Rockies and Dodgers 3.5. LA hosting San Diego tonight. 2 strikes on Pence. Biggio and then Berkman. Just got a piece. Well, back to Rich Hill saying if he weren't a baseball player, he wouldn't mind playing hockey or being a TV announcer. Carlos Zambrano told Vineline in the offseason he'd go back to school. Would like to be an architect to design buildings. Cliff Floyd barely had to move. Jock Jones said he'd be at his high school as a history teacher and a baseball coach. Matt Merton said he'd be in business. His goal would be to be the head of a corporation. What would you do if not for baseball?
Well, since I've given up my dreams of being a rock and roll star, I think probably a professional bass fisherman. I think that'd be a pretty cool way to make a living.
Okay.
As long as the fish are biting. I mean, I've taught school. I've been there, done that. I've coached, male model. I don't know.
Now, I have fished before. I like fishing, but if you were a professional fisherman, I mean, could you do that 8 to 10 hours a day?
Oh, I think I could.
Every day?
I think I could.
Okay. That's for you.
I'd like to try. Come on, fish. Yeah, I could do that. I'd have to develop a serious southern twang because it seems like all those real good bass fishermen, you know, catch them big uns. Get in the boat, fish. I actually had a chance to do a professional bass fishing tournament. I think it was the Ranger Millennium Tournament down in Florida several years ago.
How'd you do?
Well, it was a tough weekend even for the professional fishermen. I got shut out, which was fully expected, but even the big boys had trouble catching fish. A cold front had moved through Florida in the days leading up to the tournament, and the fish went deep.
So in a sense, you would be a catcher. You would be catching fish.
There you go. I like it. I did get to drive one of those bass boats at about 75 miles an hour, which is a thrill. Whew. Felt like Don Johnson in Miami Vice, you know.
Biggio walks. And he's aboard with one out. Well, as David St. Hubbins once said in Spinal Tap, I'd be a full-time dreamer.
There you go. I think that's everybody's goal in life.
Not for baseball. Or as Nigel Tufnell said, maybe work in a chapeau shop or something. Berkman batting, a runner on, one out. Male model. I'm going to get some emails on that one. You might get some offers. Ramirez, DeRosa, and Lee. And this kind of a discombobulated double play attempt as DeRosa was not in rhythm as he tried to make that relay throw. 2 outs. Berkman takes over on a fielder's choice at first base for Biggio.
Berkman hobbling a little bit on his way back to first base. Yeah, you're right. That was just ill-timed double play attempt right there. The ball wasn't really hit hard enough to turn to, but you give it a shot anyway. Craig Biggio was right on top of Mark DeRosa.
Couple of strikes on Lee.
What is that movie? Oh, yeah, Zoolander. Yeah. Male models.
You know, I never saw that movie. Should I?
I think so.
Okay.
I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah. Heard many references to it. Is that M-A-L-E or M-A-I-L?
More than likely M-A-I-L. Bermuda shorts and knee socks with comfortable walking shoes.
Ramirez able to scoop it up, and the short throw to Mark DeRosa. If I were a fisherman.
Use the sound effects.
3-7.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Born in 1983, Ben Winkler was one of the first Cabbage Patch Kids. But it wouldn't be long before this Cabbage Patch Kid became a Cabbage Patch adult. Like so many child stars before him, Ben was struggling. However, his bad fortune turned around when in 2003, it is believed he switched his car insurance to Geico, netting him much-needed money. Financially secure, he went on to win the celebrity dance competition.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
We're having a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. This young fan, she was pretty hungry. And I think the adult in the group decided, you know what, maybe it's time she ate something other than her hair. So, next best thing, cotton candy.
Well, she'll probably end up with the cotton candy in her hair.
Take mine a la mode, please. Yeah, put some ice cream on it, too.
She's working on the wrong end of the spoon. There you go.
They eat dessert first here in Houston. New pitcher for the Astros, Brian Moeller. Matt Albers with a quality start. He reached the minimum requirement, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Ontario batting 8th tonight with an RBI in each of his first 2 plate appearances, a sacrifice fly, and an infield single.
Well, Len, I say it all the time, when the number 8 hitter leads off an inning, this is a big at bat right here. Brian Terrio can reach. Ideally, Rich Hill goes up there and gets a sac bunt down this time. He struggled to do that earlier in the ball game. Not to mention the fact you'd like to have some base runners on base when Alfonso Soriano rolls around to the top of the order. Now, this is where Ryan's experience as a leadoff hitter comes into play, leading off the inning, even though he's the number 8 hitter in the lineup.
You may remember several years ago, back in 1999, Brian Moeller was accused of scuffing the baseball. He was suspended for 10 games for illegally defacing the ball.
Well, it only stands to reason that he pitches for the Astros then, because they were notorious for doctoring that baseball back in my playing days. They had some regular carpenters out there on the mound.
Berkman will flip. Moeller beats Terrio. Get you up to date as the Brewers lost a barn burner in Pittsburgh earlier today, 7-4. And the Cardinals just lost again for the 6th consecutive time. Missed opportunity for the Cardinals. They remain 4 back. Now I should note that while the Cardinals have dropped 6 in a row, they have scuffled on their road trip. They're still 39-31 at home. So they're just not going to roll over this weekend when the Cubs come to town. The Astros much better, much better at home than on the road. 4 games over here, 22 under on the road. Milwaukee, tons better in Miller Park than on the road. They will go home this weekend, but just 3, and then they go back to the road.
Now, Milwaukee now 16 games under 500 on the road. The Cardinals 13 games under 500 on the road.
For the most part, the Cubs about the same both places. Hill with a base hit.
Rich Hill drove that ball through the left side like he knew what he was doing. Got a fastball out away, head right down the barrel of the bat. Nice quick compact swing, base hit to left field.
Well, Lou said before the contest he needs Rich Hill to go 6 or 7. And the lefties come through. And even quality innings. 6 so far, just 2 hits allowed, no runs.
Well, that being said, unless the Cubs are able to tack on another run or 2 here in this inning, I would have that bullpen on full alert when Rich goes back out there to start the bottom half of the 7th inning. You just don't want to let things get away too quickly. And in this ballpark with the short porch in left field, they can get away quickly.
And 96 pitches after the next inning. He'll probably be in that area where he normally comes out anyway. Cubs giving him a little run support. He's getting the worst in Major League Baseball. 3.24 runs per game when he's been on the mound. 2 strikes on Soriano, 1 out, runner at first. We're in the 7th. Cubs scored twice in the 2nd, 1 more in the 4th. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Final voting for the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is going on now. Visit Cubs.com and help determine who you think should sing the 7th inning stretch at the Cubs game on September 22nd. There are only 10 finalists left, so don't forget to visit Cubs.com and vote for who you think deserves the title of Ultimate Cubs Fan. Is somewhat similar to Harry's glasses. Quite as big.
It's a little more like Chris Sabo.
Ooh, good call.
Spuds.
Berkman playing behind Hill, the runner at first. Called strike on Jones. Moeller's been right around the plate. 11 strikes and 13 total pitches.
I tell you, even though Lance Berkman is playing well behind Rich Hill at first base, you always have to be careful with Quintero behind the plate. He's attempted to pick off runners at first base several times already in this series. Loves to throw to the bases.
Got jammed, and Hit it slowly to the pitcher. 1-3 on the putout, and the inning is over. They will get up and stretch in Houston, deep in the heart of Texas. 3-0 Cubs.
Who is Dave Chappelle? Really? He's Rick James, Lil Jon, Blackzilla, a Black Klansman, a Milkman, Tron Carter, Silky Johnson, Gallagher Prince.
It's a celebration.
Chappelle's show is coming to late night.
Premieres Friday on Superstation WGN.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it. Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
That's cold.
When it comes to powerful congestion relief, my choice is Clear. I get Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Some allergy decongestants change their formulas. Claritin D chose not to change.
For terrible sinus pressure, my choice is Clear. Claritin D.
Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer to relieve your worst allergy symptoms, including congestion and sinus pressure, without drowsiness.
For the worst allergies, I want a product with the best decongestant. My choice is Clear. Claritin D.
Get Claritin D at the pharmacy counter. Still no prescription needed.
Live Claritin Clear.
Tommy.
Marco?
Looking good.
I thank you.
Love the jacket.
Do you?
Yes.
$90.
What?
Ooh, nice shoes.
$50.
I'm proud of you.
Love the hair.
Oh, yeah, my cousin does it. $20.
Very nice.
Nice tie.
Thanks for thinking my tie's nice.
What'd you spend on that?
$12.
Double cheeseburger. $1.
McDonald's melty, beefy double cheeseburger.
I'll give you $2.
3.
What, are you made of money?
Just one of the extravagant choices on the dollar menu. Are you a dollar millionaire?
Let's take a look at the upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule, sponsored by Comcast. The Sox hosting the American League West leading LA Angels of Anaheim. That's a mouthful. Saturday at 6 o'clock on WGN Sports. Cubs back in HD next Wednesday night against the Reds at 7 on WCIU Channel 26. Saturday at noon against the Pirates. It's a week from Saturday on WGN. 2007 Cubs and Sox baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. Rich Hill continues on. A couple of guys who attended big league school or Big Ten schools. Mark Loretta hits that one deep. And it's going to get out, and it's 3-1. Pride of Northwestern takes a former Michigan Wolverine deep for a leadoff home run, just his third of the year. Well, that's exactly what you mentioned, Bob. You can get right back into it. You can just hit a couple of deep fly balls to left.
Well, the problem with that short porch is you can make a good pitch and still get penalized. Now, that was not a good pitch from Rich Hill. A fastball up and over the heart of the plate, but I've seen a lot of home runs hit to left field in this ballpark where the batter didn't get extension, pulled his hands in close to his body, hit the ball down near the trademark, and it's so close you can still get it up into those cheap seats in the Crawford boxes.
Quick trip from Lou Piniella, and I see some guys running around out in the bullpen at left center. Lester Strode with a clipboard getting everybody ready. Curve strike to Wigginton. Kerry Wood grabbing a baseball. 71st career home run for Loretta.
Hill right at the 100 pitch mark.
Back our way, and whenever the Astros hit a home run, create cloud cover via fireworks out in left. This ballpark has its own climate. Partly cloudy right now. Either that or there's a ghost in the ballpark.
Isolated cloud cover. Well, you can see how still the air is inside this ballpark. That cloud just hanging there, not moving a bit.
Fouled back. I think it was the Metrodome. Weren't there rumors years ago about the air conditioning being on at a certain time? And I guess you couldn't get away with that here because that smoke would be moving.
Yeah, I think at least the legend was that the air conditioning was turned on when the opposing teams would hit because the air conditioning ducts blew toward home plate as Wigginton goes down on strikes. And then when the Twins would come up, they turned the AC off, allowing them a better chance to hit home runs. I don't buy it, but that was the theory around the American League. Big sweeping breaking ball gets Wigginton way out front. Good bounce back at bat for Rich Hill right there after surrendering the home run to Mark Loretta.
His 6th strikeout. And here's Luke Scott. Cubs needed a big outing from Rich Hill, and so far they're getting it. Left-hander Scott Air has joined the mix along with Kerry Wood. Big whine in the 0-2. Scott stays alive. He has not had a comfortable time tonight against his tough lefty. Struck out with 2 on and nobody out in the second. He grounded out to second base, leading off the 5th. Cecil Cooper did have the option of using Chris Burke or Jason Lane, right-handed hitters, out in right field, but he chose to stick with Luke Scott.
We just saw Scott Air warming up in the Cubs bullpen. I would assume that is just in case we get down to that pitcher spot. The 2 best pinch hitters for the Astros, both left-handed hitters. Mike Lamb with a couple of home runs as a pinch hitter, and Orlando Palmeiro, the long-time pinch hit specialist, both left-handed hitters.
Catcher Quintero on deck. $33,115 tickets sold tonight. Just a few hundred less than last night. 33,493 for game 1. Cliff Floyd drifts over.
Cliff Floyd still in the ball game defensively here in the bottom of the 7th. He's due up 3rd in the top half of the 8th inning, which will probably be the last time we see Cliff this evening. Become pretty much standard procedure when the Cubs have a lead late in the ball game. We'll see more than likely Felix P.A. come in to play center field and Jock Jones move over to man right.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at his game logs and find when's the last time he played a full 9 innings. It's been a good combination. September call-ups.
Busy scorecard right there.
Cliff actually did it in Pittsburgh. 10-5 loss. Jason Lane on deck. Actually, no, he didn't. Pinch hit in that game. Swing and a miss by Quintero. Kendall will pick it up. And the throw to Lee, and the inning is over. Leadoff home run, but that's the only damage done. It's 3-1 Cubs after 7.
How did we get roped into this?
Don't worry. I got enough for both of us.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
First time at the opera place?
You can never have too many people on your side. Right there when you need them most. And now, 2 names committed to improving senior health are there for you too. Introducing AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons, the only Medicare Advantage plan with the AARP name on it. AARP and Secure Horizons are committed to seniors and all Medicare beneficiaries, and we'd like to send you a free educational guide, Medicare Advantage Explained. To get yours, call today. Together, we can help you get more from your Medicare benefits.
I've known Secure Horizons by United Healthcare for years. Medicare health plans are their specialty. And now with AARP, I'm expecting even better things to come.
I'll be at your side. There's no need to worry.
AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons. Call now for your free guide.
The brakes were shot, so I went to AutoZone. With their ZNet system, he showed me pictures of the brakes to make sure I got the right parts, and even gave me complete instructions to do the job right. I tell you, the service you get at AutoZone, you can't beat it.
Lizzie McGuire, Sunday at 11, only on Superstation WGN.
Well, Rich Hill in his 2 starts here, 7 innings, 1 run allowed here in 07. The other one indoors for him was a season debut, 7 innings, 1 run at Milwaukee. So in the climate-controlled environment, he has been at his best.
When hermetically sealed, he brings his best stuff.
We're in the 8th. Cubs with a chance to jump back into first place after Milwaukee lost at Pittsburgh. Biggio ranging to his left. He dropped it. And Lee is safe. So the leadoff man is on.
Biggio had to range far to his left there to get to that ball. It looked like it took a little bit of a funny hop right at the end, got up into his midsection, still had an opportunity to recover right there, but just couldn't get a handle on that ball.
Well, they first put up a 9, meaning a hit, but then they just changed it, and I think that's the right call. Craig Biggio with his 10th error. There's a drive by Ramirez, deep right center. Scott, however, going to cut it off. Tough series for Ramos. He's now 1 for 9.
They got a good pitch to hit there, belt high, middle of the plate. The frustration setting in. I tell you, when the big RBI guys in the middle of the lineup get a pitch they feel they should hit hard or do some damage with, and they don't, that's when you see that frustration start to boil over. Because Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez rarely get those cookies down the middle of the plate like Rami just had.
Big night already for Cliff. At the knees, strike one. Well, we can somewhat piece together the upcoming pitching probables going into that St. Louis series. We know what the Cubs are going to do. I mentioned Traxel tomorrow. And the series finale here. Friday, Carlos Zambrano against Braden Looper. Game one of the day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Join us at noon Central Time here on WGN. Ted Lilly and Joel Pinheiro. They're going to match up for the third time already this year. It was Lilly beating Pinheiro on Monday. Well, that is Joel Pinheiro or TBA. Pinheiro is going to pitch Saturday, but it hasn't yet been determined if it'll be game one or game two. Sean Marshall will jump back into the rotation for game two. And then we'll have Sunday's series finale. Jason Marquis will face his former team, and the Cardinals are to be announced. So Marshall, it's the start of the nightcap on Saturday. We know Looper and Pinheiro will be two of the four starters for St. Louis. And based on how it's gone for them, we may go into that Saturday doubleheader and only know that Pinheiro is pitching one of them, and we don't know who the other starter is. They may just wait. Big swing by Floyd, and he's out on strikes. In fact, if the Cardinals are uncertain at all about Saturday, they'll probably go with Pinheiro in game one and then see how many innings he can give you, and then figure out game two as it comes.
Yeah, because ideally when you have even a regular doubleheader or a split doubleheader, you'd like to get as many innings out of that starter in the first game as possible, so that you have the flexibility of using as many guys out of the bullpen as you need for game two. If your starter gets blown up early in the first game of a doubleheader and you have to patch together 7 or 8 innings out of your bullpen, it really taxes that pitching staff in game two if your starter runs into trouble.
Fly ball deep to right. Scott just in front of the warning track. Gathers it in, throws that ball up into the seats. We're going to go to the bottom of the 8th. And is Rich Hill coming back out? Well, he is. 3-1.
When the world is at risk.
Fire one!
One man is heading underwater and getting in way too deep.
You ever dived a boat before, Lieutenant? I mean on purpose.
Kelsey Grammer, Lauren Holly, and Rob Schneider.
These men love me!
Down Periscope.
Thursday at 8.
Don't touch my Bud Light.
Yeah, right.
Orange. Good old one.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Calm off. Nice work, boys.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old town.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
Changes now. Felix P.A. with Cliff Floyd's spot in the lineup, and now playing center. Jock Jones goes over to play right. And I'm not not sure Rich Hill is going to actually start this inning. Chris Burke announced as a pinch hitter, and that's going to be it for Hill. So we saw handshakes in the dugout. He just sent Rich out there as a decoy as Cecil Cooper announced the right-handed hitter, and Bob Howery will come on. We'll be back. 3-1 Cubs.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for. It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Reunited and it feels so good.
1 in 3 pets will get lost. So Home Again created the only proactive pet recovery network, instantly alerting local vets and shelters the minute your pet is reported missing. Talk to your vet today about Home Again.
She's an accident waiting to happen, but on September 21st, she's gonna slip, fall,
You all right?
Yeah.
and crash her way into your heart. Good luck. Show. Rated R. September 21st.
Time now for our Bud Light fan camp from Houston, Texas. Big baseball fan Tim McGraw with a new one.
Today, gonna keep on walking. I'm gonna hold my head up high. I'm gonna leave it all behind. Today, I'm gonna stand out in the rain. Let it wash it all away. Yeah, wash it all away. I'm gonna let it go. Oh, yeah.
I think Go is the theme tonight. That one's called Let It Go from Tim's new release of the same name. Tonight's Bud Light fan cam, always worth it. I don't know Tim, but that's what the copy says. I was going to go with Mr. McGraw, but we'll go with Tim. 1 ball, no strikes. Bob Howery now working against Chris Burke, a pinch hitter, leading off the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-1 Cubs.
Now Bob Howery with 2 scoreless innings last night, did not give up a hit or a walk, struck out 4 Astros batters in his outing.
Popped up by Burke. Derek's going to have room. Reaches over, makes the catch, 1 out.
Just enough room to reach over the railing there, make the catch. That's something that's really changed in the game, Len. I mean, not to be overly critical of Derek Lee because he made the catch, and that's the bottom line, just so you get the out. But guys used to be taught to run as fast as you can to the railing and then adjust. Once you get to that railing, you know how much room you have to reach over into the dugout or come back into the field of play to make that catch. When you try to time your steps and get there just as the ball's coming down, that's what makes it a difficult play, but Derek able to grab it that time.
Dave Borkowski with a scoreless inning last night up in the Astros pen. They're going to need a pitcher for the 9th. Brian Mola was taken out for the pinch hitter. Pence is on, and the tying run will come up. Biggio representing the tying run.
Watch that first pitch fastball. Make sure you keep it on the outside corner or further away to Biggio. He loves to pick on that first heater. Good spot there from Bob Howard. He just missed down below the knees, right on the corner. Of course, when you miss with the first pitch, it's still a first ball fastball situation here in the 1-0 count.
Fouled back. Couple of veterans here in a big spot. Howery against Biggio. Bob steps off. Biggio bounced that one off himself, 1-2. By the way, thanks to our great emailers, gave us a heads up, and the Cardinals rotation this weekend will look like this. Adam Wainwright has been moved from Thursday. He was going to pitch tomorrow in Cincinnati. Instead, he's going to start the series Friday against the Cubs. Kip Wells will start tomorrow. Braden Looper on Saturday in Game 1. Joel Pinheiro Game 2. Fouled back.
Well, unless it changes between now and the time we get to St. Louis. We talked about it on the one-game series on Monday when the Cardinals came to town, how Tony La Russa is notorious for changing the lineup late. Could possibly do the same thing with the rotation. We'll see what happens.
I guess Mulder will pitch on Sunday. There's a base hit for Biggio. The Astros threatening now. And Pence is going to try to get to third. Here's a throw! They got him! The drop by Soriano ended up helping the Cubs because Pence got greedy. The 15th outfield assist for Soriano, and exasperated Cecil Cooper in the Astros dugout. That is a huge second out.
Couldn't have worked out any better for the Cubs. Soriano coming over to field Biggio's ground ball. He fans on it, but quickly picks it up, fires a strike to Aramis Ramirez. Whoa. Ramirez was sure he had him. Pence was sure he was safe. The only opinion that mattered was Andy Fletcher.
Well, that is a huge turn of events. The inning is still on, but 2 outs and a runner on, and Berkman representing just the tying run. Short lead by Biggio. Comebacker off the glove of Howery. He's going to throw, but it's late. First and second, 2 outs. And Mark O'Neill is going to check on Howery. Lou making sure Mike Riley knows that this is not a visit. He just wants to check on his pitcher, make sure he's not injured.
You'll see the comebacker off the bat of Lance Berkman. It looked like he got mostly glove on that ball, at least from that angle. Probably an ill-advised throw right there by Bob Howery. Fortunately, threw it right to Derek Lee. Well, it looked like it got all glove as it went back up the middle of the field. Bob got kind of twisted around as he attempted to catch that ball, but I don't think he got hit by the baseball.
It's a nail-biter. Carlos Lee at the plate. Here we go. Fly ball. Felix P.A. calling and catching. 3 consecutive hits, but no runs. 3-1 after 8.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
Free to move about the country.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Saturday on WGN, Tommy Konerko and crew look to derail Vlad in the first place Halos. Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on WGN.
A big play by Alfonso Soriano. 3-1 as we start the 9th. And while we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
He's edgy, he's irreverent, and he's here on Superstation WGN. Chappelle Show, Friday at 12 midnight, part of our new Friday night comedy lineup.
Jason Kendall leads it off against right-hander Dave Borkowski. A fly ball, shallow center, Pence on the move.
Another great defensive play by Alfonso Soriano. A good recovery on a ball that got briefly away from him, picked it up and fired a strike to third base. I believe that's his 15th outfield assist of the season.
The pitcher loves plays like that. Jeff Francoeur of the Atlanta Braves leading the way in the National League with 18 outfield assists. Fonzie got one last night on a ball he dropped. Then came up with a force play on the runner from first who had to hold up going to second. And it was Pence.
He's actually avoided 2 errors by his ability to recover quickly and get a good throw back into the infield. You mentioned the drop ball last night, and if Pence is safe at third base, I'm sure he would have been hung with an error.
Scott Air enjoying the ball game from the left field out of town board. The Washington, Florida game.
Top of the 7th, yeah.
I'll take Scott Air for the block. Terrio reaches on the walk. here's pinch hitter Darrell Ward for Howard.
Ward had a pinch hit appearance in the ball game last night in the 8th inning, was intentionally walked. That was after Jock Jones led off the 8th with a single. Jason Kendall bunted him to second base. They walked Darrell Ward intentionally, and then Soriano Ontario popped up to end the inning.
Up. Careful, Scott.
Way too much time on their hands out there in that bullpen. I tell you, it's kind of funny, but that's one thing that relief pitchers get to experience that position players do not. There's usually a back way down to the bullpen, around underneath the tunnel and through the grounds crew room, and through the clinic or whatever. There's always areas of the ballpark that relief pitchers get to see that position players don't. And Scott Ayers found one of those.
I mean, that's just priceless. Scott and his bullpen mates went out, toured the scoreboard at Wrigley Field, hung out in the bleachers before the ball game. Runner at first. Cubs lead by 2.
And in this ballpark, the visitors' bullpen, that is an apt description, because you are fenced in out there. You are completely isolated. You can't really see the fans. You can barely see the field, for that matter. And there are those who say that those guys should be kept in a cage.
By the way, since we mentioned the Washington-Florida game, the Marlins beat the Nationals 5-4. In 12 innings. Former Astro, a lot of at-bats here at Minute Maid Park. We'll see Ryan Dempster in the bottom of the 9th. The 3-1 pitch is hit high in the air. Carlos Lee has a long run. That ball is going to drop, and it's just foul.
Couldn't have been by too much out there in that area where the stands jut out nearly to the foul line. Carlos Lee was shaded over into the gap a little bit in left center, and you can see how little room there is in foul territory out in that corner.
I think he's being heckled by Scott Hill. The bird's eye view in left. 3-2. Terrio likely will be on the move. Darrell Ward with a good eye at the plate. There he goes. The pitch. Fly ball to center. Pence. We'll keep Terrio at first base. It's up to Soriano. He is 0 for 4. The producer of Cubs baseball here on WGN Sports is Pete Toma. Skip Ellison is our director. Mark Brady, our associate producer. The executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our stage manager in the booth, Lisa Jones. Our studio coordinator back at WGN, PJ Crucial. This is PJ's final Cubs broadcast with WGN. He's about to embark on a new venture, and we wish PJ the best. Thanks to the rest of our great crew here in Houston. Found back. We always enjoy coming here. Like to see the Cubs finally get their first win here in Houston tonight. Come up empty in their first 4 tries here in 07. Long look. Terrio runs. Here's the throw by Quintero. Safe.
I'll tell you, Len, we talked about it with Mark DeRosa earlier in the ball game. And Ryan Terrio doing the same thing, that pop-up slide. Extend that front leg out there as you go into your slide and stop your momentum right at the base. Quintero with a cannon throw down to Craig Biggio. Just enough room for Terrio to get in under the tag.
Quintero not so sure about the call. Still 2-2 on Soriano.
Terrio had a good jump over there at first base against Borkowski, too. I didn't think it was going to be that close once again, but Quintero showcasing that arm.
Pence coming over, and he takes it. All 3 outs, flyouts to center. Bottom of the 9th, Ryan Dempster in a safe spot. Loretta, Wigginton, and Scott Dew up for Houston.
Next, Reno 911. Sometimes life on the force is a drag.
Do you need backup? No. I'm deep cover.
Did they have Friday off?
Other times, it's a blast. Reno 911.
Friday at 1 a.m.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
When I'm riding, I can't let my allergy medicine put me in a fog. So I only ride Claritin Clear. Claritin works hard to relieve my worst allergy symptoms. Sneezing, runny nose, for a full 24 hours. In fact, it works so well, only Claritin is proven to make me alert and focused. And it doesn't make me drowsy, like some other medicines can. When I get allergy relief and stay razor sharp, I'm ahead from start to finish. Stay alert, stay focused, live Claritin Clear.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
Oh, Ryan Dempster right back on the horse. It was not a save spot last night, but he did suffer the loss. His 6th of the year in 8 decisions. First save opportunity since he blew the save against the Dodgers last week. In between a scoreless inning at Pittsburgh and a win over the weekend. All right, I like that hat. Skyline of Chicago. Good start to the inning. 1 strike on Mark Loretta. Loretta has walked, picked up an infield single, and homered. Awkward cut. Good slider. 2 strikes. Here he comes again. Chopper to Derek Lee. It hits first base, and Loretta is on with a single. That is just terrible luck for Ryan Dempster on an 0-2 pitch. Loretta with a weak ground ball to first. It hit the bag and went past Derek Lee.
Boy, buzzard luck right here. Just an emergency swing from Loretta. That ball hits the corner of the base, kicks back to Derek Lee's right. Nothing you can do about that one.
Josh Anderson's going to pinch run for Loretta.
And 4 minor league seasons leading into this season, Josh Anderson had 197 stolen bases. A couple of stops in A ball, a couple of years in AA.
Here's Mike Lamb batting for Wigginton. So Ryan now has to regroup. Starts Lamb with a fastball right down the middle. Scott is next.
Lamb 0 for 6 lifetime with 4 strikeouts against Ryan Dempster. I'd like to see a ground ball right at somebody here.
Absolutely. Hopefully no pebbles in the way. It has been far from easy here in Houston. Cubs 0-4 in this park. Lost a couple of times in extras. Here's a 2-1 out into right center, and that ball is going to go. PA overran it, and now Lamb is on his way to third. It's 3-2, and the tying run is at third base. Man, oh man. Anderson scores the second run, and Dempster in trouble. PA got over there, but he overran the baseball.
Very nearly the same area that Luke Scott doubled into last night. That gap in right center field. Felix PA on the full sprint to get over there to cut it off. This slows it down, keeps it from rolling all the way to the wall, but Lamb ends up at third base with a triple.
And the Cubs have to bring their infield in. Luke Scott squibs it toward third base. Runner's going to hold. The throw goes to first. They get the out. Ramirez makes the play. Boy, Lamb got caught a bit in no man's land. He wasn't quite sure if he should try it. That's one of those plays that you just don't see very often because of the way it came off the bat. And it actually helped the Cubs.
Full swing, hit the ball right off the very end of the bat. That's almost like a bunt to the left side of the field. A lot of English on that ball. And, well, you're right, Lamb just didn't quite know what to do on that ball. On a hard hit ball, he's going to freeze at third base, but with nobody out in the inning, the runner at third base in that situation has to see the ball through the infield before breaking for home plate.
Now, Orlando Palmeiro, who's a terrific contact hitter and an excellent pinch hitter, will bat. The infield is still in. High drama once again. Strike one. Take a deep breath. (3-2) Cubs. Kick and the pitch. 1-1. Inning was started on a quirky play as outstanding innings last night. Two pitch is away. It's going to be very tough, Bob, for Ryan to get a ball past Palmeiro. He chokes up on the bat.
You usually have a better chance of getting Palmeiro out with something off speed, either a changeup, a splitter. And of course, you don't want to walk him in this situation either. Put the potential winning run on base.
The 3-2, he bounced it, and a block by Kendall. That's big. Well, it does set up a double play here.
Not an easy block at all for Jason Kendall. That slider down near the feet of the left-handed hitting Palmeiro. So one as a catcher, you always worry about it hitting in those batters' toe holds and taking an errant hop. That ball was very fortunate that it kicked back to Jason Kendall's left. Able to block it with his chest protector and his arm.
Well, I remember that play. Eric Bruntlett is going to run for Palmeiro at first. Mound conference, everybody. The Cubs infield is on the mound.
Just judging by the direction that Lou Piniella was speaking, I think he's more concerned with an attempted steal of second base here and what the Cubs are going to do. Most of his conversation was directed at Jason Kendall.
So there's Bruntlett, the pinch runner. Lamb is at third. And strike one. And another pinch hitter, Eric Munson. Slider missed. Nervous times here for Ryan Dempster and the Cubs. He's trying to get out of a major jam. The Astros within one. They have him at the corners with only one out. 1-1 pitch. Buried. Another block by Kendall. One thing to remember. Not a lot of room behind home plate. So even if a ball gets past Kendall, they may have a shot at that runner. The next one, ground ball to Derek Lee. Little bobble, they get one, and they get another. Cubs win. A double play to end it. An unbelievable finish tonight. They turn the double play to end the ball game.
Oh my!
What a finish. Can you believe that ending?
It's a win, but Lou didn't look real happy walking out there to pound fist with the victorious Cubs tonight. What a great play by Derek Lee to stay with that ball. He mishandled it initially, found the handle, fired a strike to second base, and a great job by Dempster to get over there and cover first base. Well, we know in the past there have been pitchers on the Cubs staff that neglected to cover first base on a play just like this. D. Lee stays with it. Good stretch at second by Terrio. Nice job by Dempster to get over there ahead of the runner for a double play.
Well, I was worried about that brief bobble by Derek, but great teamwork. A 3-6-1 to end the game. If anybody's safe on that play, it's a tie ball game.
Boy, it looked like Derek took that ball off the bare hand only. I don't know if he got any leather on it at all. Dempster with a fist pump, DeRosa with a fist pump. The most important one, first base umpire Jeff Kellogg with that fist pump to end that double play.
They hang on by their fingernails. 3-2 the final, and they're back in first place. We'll be back.
Next on WGN News, a former Bears coach has some rather unflattering words for Rex Grossman. The plan to save the CTA, or at least to save some riders. There's one more hurdle to pass, or else fare hikes and service cuts kick in. And who's turning the magnificent mile into a marked-up mess?
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
That's cold.
Turn right.
The Baxters use their Verizon Wireless Navigator every weekend. And so do their kids. Free to get GPS turn-by-turn directions without limits, they easily find all kinds of places. No one's ever lost, and no one ever finds out.
What's going on?
Because with a Verizon Wireless Premium plan, unlimited navigation, messaging, access to videos, and more are all included. Sign your family up today, and when you buy this Crazer, you can get 3 razors free. Verizon Wireless, it's the network.
You can never have too many people on your side. Right there when you need them most. And now, 2 names committed to improving senior health are there for you, too. Introducing AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons, the only Medicare Advantage plan with the AARP name on it. AARP and Secure Horizons are committed to seniors and all Medicare beneficiaries, and we'd like to send you a free educational guide, Medicare Advantage Explained. To get yours, call today. Together, we can help you get more from your Medicare benefits.
I've known Secure Horizons by United Healthcare for years. Medicare health plans are their specialty. And now with AARP, I'm expecting even better things to come.
I'll be at your side. There's no need to worry.
AARP Medicare Complete, provided through Secure Horizons. Call now for your free guide.
Brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
Updated standings. Milwaukee's off tomorrow, so if the Cubs can win Game 3 tomorrow night, they'll head to St. Louis a half game up. In the National League Central, the Brewers and the Cardinals both lost their ball games tonight. So for the Cubs, 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors, 7 left. For the Astros, 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. 7 men left. The winning pitcher, Rich Hill, he's above 500 at 9-8. Matt Albers takes the loss, 4-8. And Ryan Dempster with his 26th save, 2 hours, 54 minutes, 33,115. Now tonight's Budweiser, I'm going to call it Play of the Year. How about this? They turn a 3-6-1 game-ending double play with a runner at third.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fortunately for the Cubs, the slowest runner on the Astros roster was at the plate, Eric Munson. Beautifully turned double play by the Cubs to end the ball game.
Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment, open up a world of taste. So we'll greet you next here on WGN Sports. Saturday afternoon from St. Louis, Cubs and Cardinals will start a day-night doubleheader at Busch Stadium. We'll hit the air at noon Central Time. Ted Lilly and Braden Looper, excellent pitching matchup. And we'll also have Sunday's broadcast Saturday at noon, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Our 60th year of bringing you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Baseball like it ought to be. What a night. A lot of emotion there from Lou Piniella as the Cubs barely hang on. 3-2 the final over the Houston Astros. So now for Bob Brenly, Pete Thomas, Skip Ellison, Mark Brady, Bob Vorwald, and our entire crew, this is Len Casper. Good night from Houston, and stay tuned. The WGN News is coming up next.
A poor mountaineer barely keeping his family fed when in the summer of '63 he was shooting at some food, becoming a millionaire overnight. Soon afterward, he loaded up his truck and moved to Beverly Hills.
I was suspicious of this whole Texas tea theory.
A new investigation reveals that in the summer before Jed moved away from there, he switched his car insurance to Geico, saving a substantial sum of money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
At eHarmony, we match you across 29 dimensions of compatibility. And right now, not only can you log on to eHarmony.com and get your personality profile, you can also review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you would be matched up with according to compatibility?
He loves me for me.
Visit eHarmony.com and discover what so many singles have found. Log on today and review your eHarmony matches absolutely free. eHarmony.com.
Tommy.
Marco?
Looking good.
I thank you.
Love the jacket.
Do you?
Yes.
$90.
What?
Ooh, nice shoes.
$50.
I'm proud of you.
Love the hair.
Oh, yeah, my cousin does it. $20.
Very nice.
Nice tie.
Thanks for thinking my tie's nice.
What'd you spend on that?
$12.
Double cheeseburger, $1.
McDonald's melty, beefy double cheeseburger.
I'll give you $2.
3.
What, are you made of money?
Just one of the extravagant choices on the dollar menu. Are you a dollar millionaire?
Reggie's got a guy.
It's the gay guy.
That guy wasn't gay until after he dated her.
Meet Reggie's mystery date next Becker.
Tonight at 12:30 Eastern.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
Doomsday averted? Well, not just yet. The state's $24 million bailout plan has a hitch. Good evening. I'm Micah Mater.
I'm Tom Negevin. WGN's Holly Gregory's live with our top story. Holly?
Tom and Micah, the governor is offering a short-term bailout to the CTA. Now, this proposal would not stop that so-called doomsday scenario from taking place, only postpone it. But the Regional Transportation Authority isn't sold just yet on the idea of a Band-Aid fix for mass transit. This weekend, the CTA's doomsday scenario is set to go into effect, cutting 39 bus routes and hundreds of jobs, plus hiking fares.
That's going to be real bad. Buses are already slow. They already don't come on time.
Governor Rod Blagojevich stepped in today to offer a short-term funding fix. He proposes giving the CTA its full-year state subsidy of $24 million, essentially borrowing the money from the CTA's 2008 budget. He says the temporary bailout would also give lawmakers time to craft a long-term mass transit solution.
People need to get to work. They need to be able to get to school. They need to be able to get to and where they're going, and mass transit and public transportation helps them do that.
The CTA says the emergency infusion of state cash would only postpone doomsday cuts until November 4th.
That's how long the money would last.
All we're doing is borrowing from our next year's budget. So if nothing happens, then we've created for ourselves an additional $24 million hole that we're going to have to fill for next year.
To our riders, right, we're grateful to the governor for the extension. But that being said, they're very frustrated with doomsday after doomsday after doomsday.
The CTA board is recommending the governor's proposal be accepted, but the RTA has ultimate approval. Its board members have signaled that a short-term fix might not be acceptable. RTA board chair Jim Riley says, on its face, the proposal averts an immediate crisis, but may create an even greater problem in the coming months.
It shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. $25 million is nothing to sneeze at.
They should take whatever they can get from whatever source and keep the trains and buses running.
Now, this temporary bailout plan is for the CTA only. The governor did not make any mention today of the suburban bus service PACE, and officials with PACE tell us that they are under the impression that they're entirely out of the deal, so that puts in jeopardy bus service to and from the trains. They are subject to those cuts that go into effect on Sunday. Now, again, the CTA bailout has to be approved by the RTA, and they are set to vote on Friday, so it's not a done deal yet. Reporting live from the CTA stop at Addison and the Kennedy, Holly Gregory, WGN News.
And be sure to stay with WGN News for continuing coverage of the possible doomsday delay. Still possible. You can go to WGNTV.com for a list of possible PACE and CTA service cuts that may or may not happen on Sunday.
6 new cases of West Nile virus reported in suburban Cook County, bringing the number of Cook County cases outside Chicago to 10. Officials say recent hot weather drove the number of infected mosquitoes higher, causing the greater risk of illness. And they say make sure to use repellent outdoors and limit your hours outside, especially dusk through dawn when mosquitoes are most active.
Well, window shoppers on North Michigan Avenue are seeing a new and unwanted type of artwork. A wave of graffiti has hit the Mag Mile over the past few months. Vandals are pouring extremely dangerous hydrochloric acid onto storefront windows. The chemical burns into the glass, etching it, which means the expensive windows have to be replaced.
It's sort of an eyesore. There's no way we can clean it. There's no quick resolution, and certainly we could replace the window, but it might just happen, right away again.
Now, because of the expense, some store owners are thinking about installing rolling shutters, which is far from ideal. Merchants tell us it would ruin the ambiance of the magnificent mile.
Chicago Tribune reporting there's a new push for a casino in Rosemont. Mayor Bradley Stevens says he met with Governor Blagojevich and other state leaders in Springfield to discuss the idea of government-owned casinos in Rosemont and Chicago and a private casino in the south suburbs. Now, Stevens says his proposal would involve selling the Rosemont Theater to the state to use as a casino, a plan he says could bring Illinois about $1 billion in annual revenue. Representatives for the governor would not confirm meetings between the two had taken place. Stevens' late father, Donald E. Stevens, had long pushed for a Rosemont casino, but after losing out, he became a critic of gambling in the village. Coming up, tsunamis and earthquakes in Indonesia, hitting the same places that were swamped just a few years ago.
And back in the Weather Center, Tom Skilling watching the storm that's soaking Astros fans in Houston and trying to keep the skies clear over us.
For pain across your whole back, Icy Hot has it covered.
New Icy Hot Extra Large Patch starts icy to dull the pain, then hot to relax it away. For up to 8 hours of relief across your whole back.
Icy Hot has it covered.
Icy Hot XL. XL relief for XL pain.
Step 2, 3, and
whatever steps you're taking to impress your partner, don't let erectile dysfunction get in the way. Viagra,
America's most prescribed ED treatment, can help you enjoy a more satisfying sexual experience. To learn more, take a spin around Viagra.com. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Don't take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injuries, stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease in vision or an erection lasting longer than 4 hours. Now's the time to take the lead. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
Finger and toe area fungal infections require strong medicine. As a doctor, I recommend Fungicure.
Fungicure liquid eliminates fungus around nails with powerful antifungal medicine. Just brush it on. It's clear and dries in a snap. Fungicure, the finger and toe fungi specialist.
You're watching Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
After the second straight day, a massive earthquake shaking Indonesia. This video from yesterday's earthquake. This quake measured an 8.4 magnitude. The quake that occurred earlier this evening measured a 7.8 magnitude with an epicenter 125 miles from Sumatra. Still no reports about injuries from this evening's quake, which shook tall buildings in neighboring Singapore and triggered tsunami warnings. At least 5 people killed in yesterday's quake and dozens of others injured.
As President Bush prepares to lay out his plan for the next phase of the war in Iraq, Democrats are taking aim at his top general there. General David Petraeus says his Iraq strategy is working. Democrats say it's not. WGN's Grant Rappies in Washington to tell us where this fight goes next.
Well, over these next few weeks, lawmakers are going to take what they've heard these past few days and decide whether they really buy it or not. For anti-war Democrats, looks like the verdict is already in.
It's time to change.
It's the same mantra the president's critics were repeating before they got the update on the surge.
I outlined the concept that we have for the gradual drawdown of our forces over time.
General Petraeus insists conditions on the ground in Iraq are good enough now that some U.S. forces can start coming home soon. Effectively, all the troops sent over for the surge could be back by next July. The seeming good news prompting Democrats to suggest
it creates and provides an illusion of change in an effort to take the wind out of the sails of those of us who want to truly change course.
Petraeus argues that while, yes, the 30,000 would have been rotating out anyway at the conclusion of their 15-month tours, he could be asking for replacements but won't. The revved-up debate on the war now being heard on the campaign trail.
General Petraeus and this new strategy is working.
Where Democratic presidential contender Barack Obama says the Iraqi government will be forced to get its act together if there's a true pullout.
Not in 6 months or 1 year, but now.
It appears the president's dug in, unwilling to recognize that his strategy is placing all the burden on our military, and it's simply not working.
Democrats in Congress who want to end the war or, at the very least, limit the president's power to keep it going find themselves in a tight spot. They need help from Republicans, but the general's testimony this week may give them cover to continue standing with the White House well into next year. And coming up tomorrow night, President Bush is expected to formally endorse the troop drawdown plan as he addresses the nation, also asking the country to again be patient. In Washington, Grant Rampy, WGN News.
Thank you, Grant. Immigration activist Elvira Arellano says her son Saul will be moving to Mexico to be with her. This announcement coming after a protest along the Mexican border on her behalf and a visit to the nation's capital for Saul. The 8-year-old is a U.S. citizen. He spent the day in Washington. He played with friends after marching in an immigration rally. Authorities deported Elvira Arellano to Mexico last month. She sought sanctuary inside a Chicago church for over a year. Meanwhile, in San Diego, friends of Arellano holding a rally near the Mexican border. They said a prayer for her family in both Spanish and English. They also urged U.S. officials to change the immigration policy so families like the Arellanos will not be separated.
Stay with us. Right after the break, Tom Skilling storms the set with a forecast that feels like fall, at least mostly like fall.
All right, you're not the person you were before you had rheumatoid arthritis.
So who will you be?
I will be here. I will be strong.
Will you live with the pain and stiffness when your joints could be deteriorating? Or will you weigh the facts and do something?
I'll face my fears when the night is long.
The pain and joint damage are real, For many people, Humira can help stop them both. Some people with heart failure should not take Humira. Humira can lower your ability to fight infections.
So tell your doctor right away if you've ever had tuberculosis or hepatitis B or are prone to infection, or if you get an infection. Don't start Humira if you have an infection such as an open sore or the flu.
There have been rare reports of serious and sometimes fatal infections and tuberculosis. Blood disorders, nervous system disorders, serious allergic reactions, and lymphoma have occurred.
Talk with your rheumatologist about Humira. The sooner, the better.
Not there yet, but I will be.
Welcome to Lazy Boy.
Hi, I hear you sell sofas and stuff.
Yep, we're not just recliners.
Oh, good. My living room is not so comfortable.
Why don't you try this?
Hey, buddy.
Comfort. It's what we do. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
Right now, get up to a $100 value American Express branded award card when you buy a set of eligible Bridgestone tires. For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
This country owes its very existence to the strength and courage of its working men and women. Unfortunately, many worked in areas contaminated by asbestos. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm speaking on behalf of the law offices of Peter Angelos. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, a disease uniquely linked to asbestos exposure, call the law offices of Peter Angelos at 1-800-556-5522 for a no-charge consultation.
Becker, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Well, good evening, everybody. What a beautiful day. You know, this air mass is the coolest we've seen in 3 months, but it may be topped by air that's coming down and has actually a Japanese typhoon connection. We'll explain that in a moment. That would hit on Friday and Saturday. Beautiful weather in Chicago after a low that was just 2 degrees off a record in the Chicago metro area. And tonight, winds are light across the area, but down on the Texas coast, that's not the case, particularly offshore. This is around Galveston. Here's Crystal Beach, Texas. You can see the clouds gathering there. We had a tropical storm form, and look at some of the rain totals that are going on out there. Umberto sprung to life 60 miles south of the Houston-Galveston area this afternoon around 1 o'clock. It was officially christened. Look at the wind gusts at some of the oil rigs offshore there, and look at the satellite imagery of the storm, which is moving up toward the Houston-Galveston area. Forecasters will watch this very closely because if this thing becomes divorced from the steering winds, it may linger in the Louisiana, Texas area and produce huge amounts of rain, even more than it would otherwise. And we're expecting a swath of 5 to 10 inches of rain right along and just to the right of the track of this storm in parts of western Louisiana and the Houston area and northeastern Texas. There's another storm, too, way out in the Atlantic. This system will kind of stall there, and then it may loop back, and we've got to watch it, because remember a couple years ago, Allison did that down in that area, lingered for days, and produced huge amounts of rain. Here's where the RPM model develops the rain there, and look out farther west where there's a cloud mass right here expected to undergo some shearing tomorrow, but it's gotten strong enough it was named a tropical depression, and this thing over the next 5 days will be moving in toward the Lesser Antilles. So a lot of action out in the tropics, even as we get set to warm up tomorrow and cool off dramatically Friday night and Saturday. 66. Actually, we had a 67 high today. That's more like an October reading, but here's this little thermal ridge, this little punch of warmer temps that will be followed in short order by growing cool air out here in Canada and the northwestern United States. That'll be plunging in on Friday and Saturday for a brief stay, but could make it the coolest weekend here in Chicago since mid-April. Winds are blowing east at 6 and the humidity at 62% tonight in Chicago. Here you can see our cool air at the moment. Here's this warmer air that blows in on southern southerly winds, but here's a lobe of very chilly air coming southward. And it's kind of interesting. There's been a big buckle in the jet stream that is turning the winds northerly and dumping this cool air. You see the highs tomorrow out to the west of us. See this ridge out here? Hurricane Phyto that hit Japan, producing 80,000 power outages in the Tokyo area and interrupting travel. Well, that thing got absorbed in a big storm up by the Bering Sea, and its southerly winds have buckled the jet up in western North America, producing this unusually strong trough that's to deliver this near-record chill Friday night and Saturday. Fortunately, when you get typhoon remnants involved in a big classic storm up there, you don't keep the buckle going long. So this will be a quick hit, maybe 2 or 3 days in length of cool air, and then we'll warm up dramatically next week. And tomorrow we'll warm up as these isobars pack and the organized southerly winds they develop bring temperatures back into the upper 70s in Chicago. Here's the big Arctic high. It's an early season variety Arctic high that comes in. Note the light winds in our area now, but how they're picking up to the south and blowing from the south. And note the low dew points. One of the reasons why temperatures dropped down to the low and mid-20s last night, breaking records in parts of northern Minnesota. Tomorrow there'll be no rain, and there's a little moisture that we'll get just an occasional mid-level cloud, but a little band of showers shown right there by our RPM model goes through tomorrow night and Friday morning. Then the northerly flow that comes in is just going to be so unstable we could develop a couple little spotty showers in the afternoon of Friday. There's Thursday's warmth. There is the cool air. But watching this 10-day animation, how this warm air floods back into the central U.S., and we go back into a fairly mild pattern again the middle and end of next week. So as we say, this will be a sharp cool-off, but a brief one in the Chicago area. Well, here's our forecast. Mainly clear and cool again tonight. We had some lows as low as 39 last night out in Sugar Grove, which was the cool spot, and other weather bug sensors out in the suburbs showed upper 30s and low 40s widespread. But tonight we'll drop to the low 40s well inland, hold to 48 in the city, and begin to see the southerly winds take hold during the pre-dawn hours. Those winds will pick up tomorrow, could gust at times over 20 miles an hour, and that'll boost the temperature tomorrow up to 78 degrees. That's quite a rebound from today, a mild, mainly sunny and fairly windy day. Clouds come in tomorrow night. It could shower to start with Friday. We'll get a little break for sun. Then the low instability clouds come in Friday afternoon and shower on us. We'll have a high of 61 after a near record or record low of 39 Saturday morning on Saturday. But we're back up to 69 with some clouds and maybe a sprinkle Sunday, and 73 Monday, and then Mike Mateer type low 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Most definitely.
We promised you last night, this is too early to figure the warm weather's over.
But it's weird to be talking about 40s and 39.
That's true.
Thank you, Tom.
We'll feel that. Okay, right. You bet, Micah. See you later.
Okay. A police sergeant in suburban St. Louis is on unpaid suspension, accused of threatening to invent charges against a driver, and it was all caught on tape.
Talk back to me again. And I bet I can say you resisted arrest or something. You want to come up with something? I come up with 9 things. Do you want to try something? No, I don't.
Brett Barrow says he was sitting in a parked car in a commuter lot early last Friday when Sergeant James Kinline came over and asked for his ID. Well, when Barrow asked whether he did anything wrong, he says the officer ordered him out of the car and began shouting. Barrow recorded that exchange with a dashboard camera and uploaded the video to YouTube.
It was my protection, and it was my way to level the playing field a little bit, knowing that he might have to see that video later on, and he might think about what he's doing right then.
The police chief of St. George, Missouri says he's received over 100 phone calls about this incident. The chief says the officer's actions and tone were inappropriate.
Well, sports is next. White Sox slugger Jim Thome continues to close in on one of baseball's magic numbers.
And after beating them on Sunday, the Chargers continued to pile on the Bears today. Rich King is next with the Day in Sports.
Superstation WGN is your home for big league baseball, so come on home.
It happened one night when I was with my daughter. I have astigmatism, so sometimes my contact lenses go blurry. That one night, I realized how big of a problem it really was. Good thing my doctor upgraded me to AccuView Advance for astigmatism.
Eye doctors know it beats the blur. It's the only contact lens designed to realign naturally every time you blink. For crisp, clear vision, and only AccuView has HydroClear, so they're really comfortable.
Now, even at night, I can focus on what's really important.
For a free trial pair certificate, go to AccuView.com.
Live from WGN TV Chicago, the official drawing of the Illinois Lottery.
Good evening. I'm Jeanette Rivera with your winning lottery numbers for Wednesday, September 12th, 2007. First game is Pick 3. First winning number is 9. Second number, 5. And the third and final Pick 3 number, 7. That makes your Pick 3 numbers for tonight, 9, 5, 7. Now moving on to Pick 4, we have Lotto tonight. That jackpot, $8 million. Mega Millions on Friday night, $36 million. First Pick 4 number, here we go. 9. Second number, 2. Third number, 6. And the fourth and final Pick 4 number, 4. That makes your Pick 4 numbers for tonight, 9, 2, 6, 4. And now moving on to Little Lotto, the game you can play 7 nights a week with a rollover jackpot that starts at $100,000, and that is tonight's jackpot. First Little Lotto number, 22. Second number, 34. Third number, that number is 20. The fourth number, 18. And the fifth and final number, 11. So to recap, Little Lotto numbers for tonight, 22, 34, 20, 18, and 11. And now moving on to Lotto. Again, tonight's jackpot, $8 million. Good luck. First Lotto number, that number is 29. Second number, 39. Third Lotto number, 19. The fourth number, that number is 40. The fifth Lotto number will be 43. And the sixth and final number, 3. So to recap, Lotto numbers for tonight, 29, 39, 19, 40, 43, and 3. And again, join us on Friday night for Mega Millions at jackpot, $36 million. This is Jeanette Rivera. Have a great night.
Tonight's lottery drawing was brought to you by WGN TV and supervised by the accounting firm of Clifton Gunderson.
I've been trying to manage my type 2 diabetes with diet, exercise, and pills.
I thought I was doing everything right. My pills are no longer enough.
I don't get it.
My doctor told me the longer you have diabetes, the more challenging it is to control. He recommended Exubra to keep my blood sugar level under control. Exubra is a powdered insulin you breathe in through your mouth before meals.
People with type 1 diabetes and some with type 2 will have to take some longer-acting insulin in addition to Exubra.
Ask your doctor if Exubra is the right option for you.
Exubra may lower your lung function, so you will need to take a breathing test before you start treatment and from time to time as you take Exubra. You should not take Exubra if you have unstable or poorly controlled lung disease, if you smoke, start smoking, or quit smoking less than 6 months ago, or if you are under 18. Tell your healthcare provider if you have lung disease or breathing problems. Taking Exubra may result in low blood sugar, sometimes severe. Other common side effects are cough, dry mouth, and chest discomfort.
Exubra helps control my blood sugar. Now I get it.
A joyful new fragrancing idea from Glade, the scented oil flameless candle. Enjoy the flickering glow of a candle and the continuous fragrance of an air freshener. With a look so real, you'd never guess they're not real candles. Enjoy Glade fragrance puffs. Here, there, everywhere. Flicker and fragrance. The new flameless candle from Glade. The joy of fragrance. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Yeah, a tree fell on my car. I'm covered, right?
Was it a ficus?
I don't know. Who cares?
Well, the low-rate plan you chose does not include tree-related incidents, except for the ficus.
You're joking, right?
No.
If you could save on car insurance without cutting your coverage, why wouldn't you? Call State Farm and see why it pays and shop the leader first. Get a quote and start saving today.
That's no ficus.
For pain across your whole back, Icy Hot has it covered.
New Icy Hot Extra Large Patch starts icy to dull the pain, then hot to relax it away. For up to 8 hours of relief across your whole back.
Icy Hot has it covered.
Icy Hot XL. XL relief for XL pain.
Where are we on the fall fashion event?
Shimmering metallics. Fabulous wraps. Classic houndstooth.
Come to Burlington Coat Factory's must-have event and save big.
Trendy jackets. Sweater coats. and fantastic flats. How do you afford those brands on what I pay you? Burlington Coat Factory.
Everything department stores have except the prices.
American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
King in with late sports, and the Cubs giving Lou Pennell some heartburn tonight.
Did you guys have your fingers crossed?
Yes. It was a nail biter.
It worked. Took my lead right away, Mike. And the Cubs finally broke through in Houston. They went for the first time tonight at Minute Maid Park this year. But it's far from easy. You've heard of nail biters? Well, this was a hair biter, and you can see what I mean. Watch this gal biting her hair. Even Astros fans nervous. Cubs broke on top. This is Cliff Floyd, and there it goes. A solo shot in the second, and the Cubs led 1-0. Meantime, on the hill, Rich Hill was pitching very, very well. Had the Astros baffled, and the Cubs had a 3-0 lead. Nice curve right there. They led 3-1 in the ninth inning when Ryan Dempster came in, surrenders a gapper to Mike Lamb. Freddy's PA overruns the ball a bit. A run scores. He gets a triple, and the Astros had runners on first and third later on with only 1 out. So a golden chance for the Astros to tie, but watch what happens. Eric Munson, Derek Lee, a 3-6-1 tough double play. And the Cubs win the ball game. Needless to say, a huge win as Lou's pumped up. The final was 3-2. Meantime, the Pirates gave the Cubs a hand this afternoon. The Buccos and Brewers tied at 4-4 in the eighth when Ronnie Polito drives one. And this is the go-ahead run off Derek Turnbull. And the Pirates go on to win 7-4. So the Cubs and Milwaukee once again are tied for first place. Sox fans, meantime, hiding recently, but not today, because Jim Thome began the march against the Indians. A solo shot here in the fourth inning. The last one, a line shot out of there. $4.99 now for Jim. The Sox led 2-1. Then the fifth, more fireworks from Big Jim. This time he unloads a base hit here, a 2-run single, and the White Sox take a 4-1 lead, and they take the final game of that series 7-4. Javier Vazquez's 12th win, thanks to a big game from Big Jim.
It's always nice to see something like that, especially the way we're going. And I see that his teammates get so excited, and I see his wife and his daughter close to that, and I see ball changing and all the stuff. It's just something real nice to be part of that. And, you know, hopefully do it here.
Okay, meantime, the Bears began to prepare for the home opener on Sunday at Soldier Field against the Chiefs, but the big topic at Hallis Hall today was still the San Diego Chargers game and the fallout from some post-game comments, or in one case, alleged post-game comments. Even though he denied saying it, word reached the Bears locker room that Ron Rivera had called Rex Grossman a mental midget. Didn't take long for Olin Kreutz to lash back at the former Bears defensive coordinator.
I think Ron showed you right there why he's not here anymore. You know, he's kind of a me guy. He says too much sometimes, and it's probably why he's not back.
Doesn't sound like it surprises you that Ron said that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, here's a guy who after the Super Bowl we just lost said it's my time. So take it for what it is.
I don't know what to say other than he has never been around me, you know, and he's always been up in the booth, and maybe he heard something about, you know, Darren Sharper, you know, last year. I don't know. You know, I don't know where it comes from.
Word also came from San Diego that some of the Chargers insinuated that Cedric Benson was a soft runner, that he went down on the first hit. Benson just laughed it off.
What am I supposed to say? You know, some guys on the radio hyping himself up, you know. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I don't care, you know. It doesn't affect me. You know, they're coming off a win, I'm sure. You know, San Diego talks a lot of trash. Is what they do. So I'm sure they're just having fun on the radio.
Okay, let's put San Diego to bed. It's over with. Kansas City next, home opener. We'll see what happens.
All right, thank you. That is the news for this Wednesday night. I'm Mike Emater.
I'm Tom Negovan for Rich King, Tom Skilling, and all of us here. Have a great night.